Game winner Paul Bird goes to the mound tonight as the Kansas City Royals return home to start a homestand, and it is interleague play tonight. They're in the Bird's Nest, and we're set for Royals baseball. Welcome into Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. The I-70 series resumes as the Royals play host to their in-state rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals. Along with Royals Hall of Fame pitcher Paul Splittorff, I'm Bob Davis. Kind of a special feel in the air here tonight, the Royals and the Redbirds.
Well, it's more than just the Royals against the Redbirds. It's the American League against the National League, much like the Midsummer Classic, the All-Star Game, and, of course, the World Series. And I know you're always anxious when you see that. Royals lead the series all time against the St. Louis Cardinals, especially with that sweep last season. That series came at a good time for Kansas City. It was in their stretch where they played their best baseball, and they took it out on the Cardinals. I'm sure the Cardinals are looking for some revenge right now.
Royals home from Chicago. They won a couple of games in the Windy City, split that series 2 apiece as they look ahead now to lots of National League opponents coming up.
And not an easy schedule. The Cardinals, an outstanding team, playing their best baseball this season. Marlins have a solid team. The Expos, the Mets, more good teams right there. I tell you, the next 2 weeks going to be tough on Kansas City.
Maybe a good sign. The Royals have won a couple of one-run ball games the last 2 victories.
And these are games that they're winning now that they were losing in the month of April. You look at their last wins by a run each. The season, the one-run record, better than what it was last year. Still not as good as they want it to be. But again, Royals now finding ways to win games when they used to find ways to lose them.
And we mentioned Paul Bird goes to the mound looking for victory number 9. Not real effective last time out.
Well, not very effective at all his last time out. Couldn't get through the first couple innings without putting up big numbers, and those are the tough innings for him, innings 1 and 2. Once he gets things on track, he's pretty tough to beat.
And we'll see how he fares tonight. He'll go against a good one for the Cardinals, Darryl Kyle, on the mound for St. Louis. So it's Kyle against Bird, the Royals against the St. Louis Cardinals. We're glad you joined us. Royals baseball coming up. The fans are ready. We'll have a big crowd here at Kauffman Stadium as the Royals face the Redbirds next, right here on Fox Sports Net. Tonight's Kansas City Royals telecast is brought to you by Ford. Visit your Midwest Ford dealers. By Pennzoil, protection under the toughest conditions. And by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. Union Station, one of the great landmarks of Kansas City. Here is Tony La Russa. And we'll take a look at Tony La Russa's Cardinal lineup for tonight's ball game. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It's a good lineup for the Cardinals. Vigna at second, Polanco at third, Drew in right. There is Albert Pujols, who went to high school and junior college here in the Kansas City area. He'll be in left field. Tino Martinez, the former Yankee, at first. Renteria at short. Eli Marrero in center. Mike Matheny behind the plate, and Eduardo Perez will be the designated hitter. And we're set for baseball as Vigna stands in against the Royals starter here tonight, Paul Bird. Boy, what a nice night. 81 degrees as this ball game unfolds. The scouting report on Bird, who is 8-3 for the Royals, making his 13th start. And it's a 2-ball, no-strike count, just barely missed inside. Bird, who pitched in the National League, of course, is 1-0 in 4 games against the Cardinals. One of those games was a start. There's strike 1. Joe Brinkman, the home plate umpire. It's 2 balls and a strike to Fernando Vigna. Vigna hitting .294. As you saw, just a .202 lifetime hitter against the Royals. That's down the line. It could be trouble, and it's a foul ball. Bouncing into the seats. That evens the count at 2-2.
Vigna, a tough guy to defend. You got to spread out defensively. He can hit the ball any corner of the ballpark. Cardinals got off to a slow start this year, but playing their best baseball this season, having won 18 out of their last 25. Just coming off a loss. They lost the series on the road in Cincinnati.
Missing a chance in the ball game yesterday. A 1-run loss. Had the Cardinals won, they would be in a tie for first place in the Central Division. As it is, they are 2 games behind the Reds. 2-2 now to Fernando Vigna, leading off the ball game here. And hit up into the air to left center field. Should be no problem for Beltran. And 1 out. A nice comeback by Paul Bird. Let's take a look at the Royals around the horn, courtesy of Subway.
Well, first of all, the Royals will play on the right side of their infield with Mike Sweeney. The second baseman is Luis Alicea. He's a late addition to the lineup. Joe Random plays third base alongside veteran shortstop Nafi Perez. outfield has Michael Tucker in left field. Carlos Beltran plays center field. Beltran's played terrific defense over the last week or 10 days. Mark Quinn has the start in right field for tonight's game. A.J. Hinch will do the catching.
And now the batter, Placido Polanco, very versatile guy, playing a lot of third base for the Cardinals. A.J. Hinch behind the plate for KC. Polanco, much higher batting average away from Busch Stadium. He is a good offensive player, although off to kind of a slow start this year. But Polanco, better than a 300 hitter each of the last 2 seasons.
Tony La Russa making a lineup change over the last few days and giving Polanco a couple days off, but they want him back in the lineup. They think he's going to be an outstanding player. Gave him a couple days to kind of clear his mind. Back in there tonight.
Cardinals missing one of their key ingredients. Jim Edmonds has a wrist problem, so he is out of the lineup.
He's third in the league in batting average, fourth in the league in slugging percentage.
And a breaking ball grabs the outer edge as Bird throws a strike after getting down in the count early here to Polanco. He's a 300 hitter in games against the Royals. Now it's 3-2. How important is it? I guess it would be very important tonight for Paul Bird to have a nice, quiet first inning, wouldn't it?
Well, he'd like to get settled in with his stuff and his command of that stuff. There are some games maybe he tries to do too much in the first couple innings. It kind of sets him back. Find a pitch or two instead of trying to establish everything in the very first inning.
So our keys to the game brought to you by Dodge.
Paul Bird needs to figure out what's working and find out early without maybe trying too much. Maybe he's trying too much over his last couple of ball games. Crank up the offense. Royals hit just 200 in the White Sox series, scoring 8 runs in the 4 ball games. Maybe fortunate to win just 2 of them.
Remember that 5-run inning the Rangers had against Bird the first the other day in Arlington. There's a punch out of Polanco. And 2 down here in the top of the first.
And Paul Bird goes from 3-0 to a caught looking of Placido Polanco. Threw the breaking ball right at him. Had it bend on to the inside corner.
So 2 up and 2 down. Now here is J.D. Drew, the young right fielder. The emerging outstanding offensive players in the National League. 1-0 to Drew as Bird delivers and finds the strike zone with that pitch. 1-1. First 10 starts, not so much problem in the first inning, but last couple of starts, plenty of first inning difficulties. So he'd like to get Drew and head to the dugout. 2-1. Al Nipper, the Royals pitching coach. 2-1 to J.D. Drew. And hit to Sweeney off his glove. Michael will have to hurry. And safe at first. Well, they had a chance to get out of the inning 1-2-3. But a misplay right there. It'll be an error on Sweeney.
Certainly a makeable play. Sweeney playing deep at first base, and the ball hit to his glove side. Goes off the end of his glove. Rolling away far enough. J.D. Drew runs about as well as anybody. He's going to hustle down that line, and he'll beat that throw to the pitcher covering. Makeable play. Sweeney unable to get it done. He draws the error.
So the Cardinals have a 2-out base runner. And Drew with very good speed over there. And here is the slugging second-year player Albert Pujols. Boy, he has, judging by their batting practice tonight, replaced McGuire as the main attraction in BP. He was planting him up on the hillside with regularity. The Cardinals batting practice session tonight.
Well, Pujols with that home run power, but I think what concerns opponents more than the home run power is the ability to hit the ball all over the ballpark. Complete command of the strike zone. Good fastball hitter. Also handles the breaking ball, which is very surprising for a young hitter.
National League Rookie of the Year a year ago when he hit .329 with 37 homers and 130 batted in. Fly ball shallow right and base hit. Couldn't get there. Quinn down in the outfield, and the Cardinals are going to get a run out of all that. Now they've got the runner hung up between second and third, and he's tagged out by Randa. But the Cardinals got a rather cheap run, and now the Royals have an injured player as Quinn is still down in the outfield after trying to make that catch.
Well, he has a blowout on his way in. This is a very catchable ball. It hangs up for Quinn, but Something happened, hamstring, who knows, but again, he's limping badly and blows a tire before he ever gets to this ball. You see right there, he's just trying to hold on and make the play, unable to get it done. Ball falls for a base hit. That's a tough break for the Royals.
Royals running out of outfielders with Knobloch on the DL. 1-0 Cardinals. The Royals are coming to bat next here at Kauffman Stadium.
For the Royals, coaching at first base.
Well, Mark Quinn being helped off of the field. The Cardinals take a 1-0 lead in the top of the first inning on a 2-out error, and this ball to right field. That Mark Quinn playing fairly deep against Albert Pujols, so he had a long run to make, but obviously a leg problem before he got there, and even with the leg problem, he was able to get to where the ball was going to land in the outfield, but Quinn unable to make the play, and scoring from first base is J.D. Drew. Pujols thrown out on a rundown between second and third, so the Cardinals get a couple breaks in the top of the first inning.
That'll be an unearned run for St. Louis. Now the Royals come to bat. Neifi Perez in the leadoff spot. Neifi Perez facing Darryl Kyle, against whom he is 2 out of 11. But Neifi's had pretty good luck against the Cardinals his years over in the National League with the Colorado Rockies. Sprayed foul, strike one. Well, the Royals have already had a change in their lineup. The original lineup had Carlos Fablis at second and Alicea in the role of DH, but Tony Pena has put Alicea in defensively. We understand Fablis has a sore lower back. Now here's a base hit by Neifi to lead off the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the Royals complete lineup, presented as always by Southwest Airlines. Neifi Perez leading it off. Then you've got Alicea at second, Beltran in center, and Mike Sweeney, Royals ringleader, hitting fourth. He has hit well against the Cardinals. So has third baseman Joe Randa. Tucker in left. Quinn starting the game in right. We'll check on his status. Ibanez now the designated hitter, and A.J. Hinch will catch and bat ninth. We saw Darryl Kyle each of the last 2 years in this series. 2 years ago in St. Louis, he was fabulous.
Good fastball, great curveball. Works with a slider and a straight changeup. The curveball is his specialty. He'll change speeds on that on a regular basis.
1-0 St. Louis, an unearned run. Well, an error and a little pop fly to right that Quinn couldn't reach after coming up lame out there. But the Royals closed out the inning, getting Pujols in a rundown. Now the Royals have their leadoff man on here in the home half of the first.
Luis Alicea are very familiar with the Cardinal organization. With that ball club from '88 to '94, then again in '96, so he spent some time in the National League. In fact, you look at the Royals lineup. Neifi Perez out of the National League, Alicea from over there. Joe Randa spent some time with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Michael Tucker, a National Leaguer.
Brent Main's not in the lineup tonight, but he caught for last several years in the National League. 2-0 the count to Alicea. And fouled out of play to the left side, strike one. Darryl Kyle into the game tonight, 3-3 on the year, but he has been sensational the last couple of seasons. Last year a 16-game winner. 2 years ago he won 20 ball games. Used to pitch with Houston, then a couple of years with the Colorado Rockies. 2-1 to Alicea, and Neifi Perez back to the bag.
Well, thinking ahead for the Royals, what are their options in the outfield if Mark Quinn cannot continue? As we would guess, he'd have trouble coming back in. Raul Ibanez back in the lineup. He's the designated hitter. If you go with him, you lose your DH. Donnie Sadler's on the bench, as well as Brandon Berger.
And that's a bouncer foul, handled by the Royals third base coach Rich Dower. Back to first is Neifi, who was off and pedaling with that delivery. Well, after giving up that run in the top of the first, you'd love to see the Royals come back and get on the board here in the bottom of the first. Well, it looked like Bird was headed for an easy inning. Sweeney awaiting his turn here in the first.
Well, Bob, when you look at that first inning as far as the pitching standpoint, it is an easy inning. J.D. Drew didn't hit the ball all that hard on the ground to Sweeney. Then you had a routine ball to right field.
Now full count. Alicea having a pretty good plate appearance here against Darryl Kyle. Kyle, 33 years old, Came to the big leagues in '91. There is the on-deck hitter, Carlos Beltran. A good lead for Nafee. And roll to the right side. And they'll just get the out at first as Vina throws out Alicea. And the Royals have the potential tying run at second as we check out the Cardinals around the horn.
They've got a very familiar face at first base, the former New York Yankee. That's Tino Martinez. Fernando Vina, a slick fielder at second base. Lucido Polanco plays third base. Edgar Renteria, very athletic at the shortstop position. It's Albert Pujols in left field. Eli Marrero, who is a catcher by trade, plays center field. J.D. Drew gets the start in right field this evening. Mike Matheny will do the catching. Matheny, one of the better receivers in all of baseball.
How many catchers do you see go out and play center field?
I was thinking about that. B.J. Surhoff would be about the best one I could think of. That was a guy who was a catcher. Depending on who he was drafted by, coming out of North Carolina, he could have been a big league shortstop.
Ball one to Beltran.
It's about the only one I could think of that would have that combination to where, use them all over. That's a rarity. Catcher and also a center fielder.
See catchers move to maybe first base or third base.
Or whatever, left field, right field,
right,
corner outfield positions. But in the middle of the diamond, every time they're in the middle of the diamond, they're facing the other way.
Of course, Biggio, the great second baseman of the Astros, was a catcher, and he's played a little bit in the outfield, including center. Down too low and a bit inside. 2-0 to Beltran. Well, Kyle working behind these Royal batters here early, but he got a ground ball out from Alicea. Beltran with a chance to drive in the tying run here in the first. 3-0.
Royals have their two best hitters positioned right in the middle of the batting order. Carlos Beltran will have an advantage because the switch hitter, Mike Sweeney, right behind him, the right-handed hitter, easily the Royals' most consistent offensive threat.
In for a strike. Beltran taking the 3-0 delivery. Royals with a leadoff single by Nafee Perez. Alicea grounded out with Perez running. So he's at second. One down for Beltran. A 3-1 pitch coming up. Strike over the inside corner.
Darryl Kyle will use two fastballs, Bob. A tailing fastball away from the left-handed hitter, and then that last one, four-seamer right to the inside part of the plate. Works both sides with the fastball. In fact, he's got two different pitches with it.
Well, a big one here. Nice comeback by Kyle. And hit to Tino Martinez for an easy out. Two gone. Now Nafee Perez at third, but with two out.
The first baseman, number 29, Mike
Carlos Beltran took a fastball on the outside part, took another one to the inside. That one, the best pitch that he had to handle in that plate appearance. Came over the top of it and hit a ground ball to the first baseman Martinez, who makes the play unassisted.
Mike Sweeney has been a hot hitter, to say the least. Overall, he's hitting .341. In the last couple of weeks, just under .400. Royals need a two-out hit right here to get on the scoreboard. Breaking ball. Missed. Ball one. Skips away from Matheny, but not far enough for an advance by the runner.
Mike Matheny, a terrific defensive catcher. Pitchers love throwing to him. In fact, he runs the entire ball game. Takes care of the calling of the pitches. Good defensive catcher as far as blocking balls, throwing out base runners. A little light with the bat, but everything else, he's got it all going.
Now the question is, will Sweeney see a hittable pitch? 2-0.
Count many times dictates whether he'll have a hittable pitch. If he can get ahead in the count, then you want to go ahead and challenge even a good hitter. If you fall behind in the count, you want to handle him very carefully.
1-0 St. Louis. 3-0 to Sweeney.
Mike's probably got the green light right here. He has earned that privilege over the last few years. Always one of the toughest strikeouts in the American League, especially when you consider the hard contact that he makes. Good contact hitter, good knowledge of the strike zone, good eye.
They set up outside, and he popped it up. That should end the inning. Royals are going to waste the leadoff single. And they strand a runner at third after an inning. Cardinals with an unearned run lead the Royals by a count of 1-0.
break on top 1-0. Got an error and a bloop hit to right field to get the early lead in this ball game. Defensive changes for the Royals. Brandon Berger comes out. He'll play left field. Michael Tucker, who started the ball game in left field, moves on over to right field. And Mark Quinn out after that leg injury.
Hope to get word on the condition of Quinn. Meanwhile, the Cardinals will send up Tino Martinez, Edgar Renteria, and Eli Marrero here in the top of the second inning. What a nice run Tino Martinez had as a member of the New York Yankees. He's got some jewelry, doesn't he?
And he was a big part of that ball club the last couple of years. He developed into one of the quiet leaders on their team. A lot of people thought that Seattle traded him because they felt he had maybe overachieved in his final year in Seattle. Yankees thought otherwise, thought Yankee Stadium would be a great fit for him.
And there's a leadoff base hit for Martinez here in the top of the second inning. And the Cardinals get their leadoff man on here in inning number 2.
Batting sixth,
former teammate of
the shortstop, number
Martinez
3,
with the Yankees,
Edgar
Chuck
Renteria.
Knobloch, who is on the disabled list now with the Royals. Well, depending on Quinn's situation, the Royals getting very thin there in the outfield.
Royals already pretty thin with Carlos Fabulous coming out of the lineup, a sore back. Don't know if he would be available today or not. Certainly not healthy enough to get the start.
Now here's Renteria. The outstanding young shortstops in Major League Baseball. Showed bunt and took ball 1. Renteria hitting .282, but .412 against the Royals. Renteria comes to town with a 5-game hitting streak. He's faced Bird quite a bit. He's 2 out of 12 against Paul. There goes the base runner. Out at second. That's all they'll get. The runner right on Alicea, taking him out of the double play opportunity. If they don't start the runner, that is an easy double play ball.
Or if they do start the runner and this ball isn't hit very near the bag at second base, they'll have a man in scoring position.
The center fielder.
Get that first guy. Take your chances with the next. Renteria getting the ball right at Nathy Perez, who has that short underhand flip. Alicea with the out barely by less than a half a step at second base. Momentum took him out of that play, unable to relay the throw to first.
Here is Marrero, who is stationed in center field tonight for St. Louis. And he bunted right through that pitch. Strike 1. Well, the Show Me State Showdown will be continuing tomorrow night. Keep in mind the Saturday ball games are at 6:05. I'll tell you more about some of the activity coming up tomorrow. Game 1 of a 3-game series here this evening. 0-1 to Marrero. 1 on, 1 out. And a foul ball. Fans coming to the game tomorrow night will have an opportunity to win a jersey right off a Royals player's back. During the game, Royals Charities scratch-off tickets will be sold for just $1. 25 instant winners will take home a game-worn autographed jersey, so don't miss that tomorrow night. And those are the guys selling the scratch-off tickets, identifiable by that brilliant green shirt. Chopping ground ball, runner safe at second and safe at first. Well, the Royals very shoddy defensively here to start this ball game. That'll be an error on Nathy Perez. This Royals' second error in the first 2 innings.
A second error, and then you've got the bloop ball to right field that Mark Quinn pulls a muscle on. So 3 extra outs already in tonight's game. No out right there. Nathy Perez just does not get on top of that throw to get anything on it to first base. It tails on him, and Sweeney off the bag to make the grab, and base runners already by him. Marrero hustling down that line. Marrero doesn't run like a catcher, does he?
No, sir. He is very athletic. It's evidence for the fact that he's playing center field. Now here's Matheny, the catcher. The Cardinals have been doing some running here this inning, and it's helped them. Forced the Royals into some mistakes and avoided the double play ball.
Cardinals are right in the middle of the National League in a lot of the offensive categories, Bob. They're 5th in the league in batting average, 7th in the league in runs scored, 6th in the league in doubles, on base percentage, slugging percentage, and stolen bases, 7th and 8th. So the team that's not just running crazy, team's not just hitting the ball out of the ballpark, got to do a lot of things to generate their offense.
although they have pretty good power as well, but a little different look without Big Mac right in the middle of that lineup. Matheny hitting .239. How will the Cardinals play it here? There is one out. Runners at first and second. St. Louis an early 1-run lead. Paul Byrd, who had hoped for good success early on in this game, has deserved a better fate, although they have just one run so far. Double play right here would be just what he could use to get out of this thing. Wow. A little high, apparently. 3-0 to Matheny. Another bad one here. Loads the bases. Where was this last pitch?
Paul Byrd working all around the plate. I believe that ball probably stays inside. Certainly not high.
Now a 3-0 pitch. Nearly hitting ball 4. Man. Well, the best sports show period's All-Star Summer kicks off. It's a month-long celebration with special guests Shaq, Barry Bonds, The Rock, and many more. Plus scenes from Tom's bachelor party and free TV's first Ultimate Fight. Huge stars and complete insanity. The best sports show period's All-Star Summer later this month here on Fox Sports Net. Well, the Cardinals a chance to really do some damage here in the second inning. Here's Eduardo Perez, who is the designated hitter, hitting in the 9th spot in the order, and that pitch is a ball. Perez, the son of Hall of Famer Tony Perez, the great Red Star. Wow. Paul Byrd wanted that call. So did A.J. Hinch, and they didn't get it. It's 2-0. Paul Byrd walking a batter here. He hasn't done much of that this season, but he's in a jam right now. A tiny strike zone at the moment. Well, 3-0.
Well, Paul Byrd needs to establish to the home plate umpire that he can throw strikes, that he's not going to stand out there and nibble all night long. That pitch looked like it had a pretty good chance, but I think realistically most of them just out of the strike zone. Continues to try to work the corners.
Ball 4. This game at the moment doesn't have a very good feel to it, does it, for the home team? And here comes Al Nipper to try to settle Paul Byrd. Still only one out. 2-0 St. Louis.
Paul Byrd had the big inning against him his last time out. Texas Rangers jumping on the breaking ball early, jumping on the ball early in the count. I think that's why Paul wants to be a little bit more on the corners, a little bit better control right now. He doesn't want to make sure he gets too much of the plate on his first offering. So much first ball hitting against him over his last few games. So trying to make the perfect pitch, at least early in the count, try to slow down those bats.
Looking to the Royals bullpen. Obviously they need some good quality innings from their starter tonight. Byrd has done that for the most part this season. And still making their way into Kauffman Stadium. A little traffic backup. An outstanding crowd here tonight in the 38,000 range. Now here's the top of the order. Fernando Vina back up the middle and on through. Base hit. 2 runs will score. Just a little bleeder through the infield. And it is 4-0. And how many runs can you spot these guys? Not very many.
Well, the way the Royals hit in the Chicago White Sox series, 200 as a team, and scored 8 runs in those 4 ball games. Really don't want to spot them anything. But Vina, line drive hitter, take it right back up the middle. I think Paul Byrd got a piece of that one. It went off of his glove and right across the bag at second base. That'll plate a couple more runs. And Vina, pretty good RBI man out of that leadoff position. Spanked the ball all over the yard. A couple more runners score. Cardinals lead at 4-0.
On only 3 hits, 2 errors, and 2 walks thus far. Vina with the hit through the middle. Now a strike to Polanco. 4-0 St. Louis. A Cardinal team that is 32-26. They are a couple of games under 500 on the road, 14-16.
are absolutely tearing up their division. They're 10 games over 500 in games played in their division. They've done a whole lot of damage to the Houston Astros. Team that won 93 games a season ago.
Tony La Russa's ball club trailing the Reds by 2 games into the action this weekend. Popped up, out of play, foul ball. 0-2 to Polanco. Cardinals getting their batters up there for the second look at Bird, and they're just in the second inning. Foul ball again. Still 0-2. Royals will use a couple of young pitchers in the other 2 games, Affeldt and Asensio, so they're really leaning on Bird, you would figure, tonight. But an early hole for the home team. Miguel Asensio, who pretty impressive the other day in Chicago. Pena is a good base runner. He has 11 steals. They have been running here in this inning, and it's kept him out of a couple of double plays.
Think of St. Louis Cardinals over the years. You're always talking about teams that have good speed, good athletes throughout their lineup, but probably a base stealer or 2. He's looking to take the extra base.
He spoiled a pretty good pitch right there. Still no balls, 2 strikes to Placido Polanco. Polanco's been with the Cardinals since '98. Yet another outstanding player from the Dominican. Very versatile guy. He can play about anywhere on the diamond. Pitch out, nothing doing.
22 pitches in this inning for Paul Bird after an 18-pitch first inning, so things not going very easily for him right now.
Just 2 hits in the inning. Single by Martinez and the ground ball up the middle by Pena a moment ago. And now it's 2-2. Cardinals getting some production rather quietly. Royals swept St. Louis a year ago, 3-game series. Way inside, 3-2 now. So after the 0-2 and several foul balls, now Bird goes the distance with Polanco.
And you see his pitch totals right now. 42 pitches thrown, 22 strikes, almost a 50-50 deal. We've never seen Paul Bird like this. Last time out in Texas, where he got cuffed around a little bit, people were doing first ball hitting. He was at least throwing strikes.
Those are the numbers from his last 3 starts. 2 of those against the Angels. The other one at Arlington the other day. Base hit. Another run scores. 5-0 St. Louis. Still only 1 out.
The right fielder, J.D. Drew.
Take a look at the location of this pitch from center field. Paul Bird having a hard time making pitches on the corner. That ball has a hole out of the plate, inner half. Pumped into left field by Polanco, picking up his 12th RBI of the season. It's squarely in the hole between short and third.
5 runs on 4 hits, 2 Royal errors, 2 walks. Here's Drew. Base hit. Here comes Pena. He will score. 6-0 Cardinals. Polanco to third. Oh, and this thing's getting out of hand. It's been a quiet attack, but now they're going to start throwing out in the bullpen. Suzuki, it looks like he'll start doing some work out there. Well, the Royals having a nightmarish second inning.
Paul Bird getting right after J.D. Drew, having trouble with the strike zone. Things are just out of the zone. right in the middle of the plate, and that last one had a whole lot of home plate, and J.D. Drew stuck it right back up the middle. He's got an RBI. He's having a big frame here.
Now the powerful Albert Pujols, who doubled to right, was thrown out. A rundown between second and third in the first inning. Cardinals got the unearned run in the first and 5 more so far here in the second. Runners at the corners with 1 out, and that could be the double play they need. And a couple of batters too late, but it does close out the inning. But the Cardinals put 5 on the board in the second to go along with their unearned run in the first. In the middle of the second, Cardinals jump out to a 6-0 lead. Worked here quickly. Here's Joe Randa. Michael Tucker and Brandon Berger will be up there next. And that's a called strike. A delayed call there from Brinkman. 0-1 to Joe. And down the line in right, and it is a foul ball. Randa quickly down 0-2. Boy, Joe has hit well against the Cardinals. 468. Remember, he played in the National League for a year with the Pirates, so he's actually played quite a bit against St. Louis. Couple of homers, 18 batted in, 18 games overall.
Joe coming off a pretty good road trip, too. 9 for 25 with 5 RBIs in that Texas-Chicago series.
Cardinals got a run in the first, an error and a blue pit. And then nothing went right for the Royals in the second. Still a ball and 2 strikes to Randa. Jeremy Offeld on the right, who is scheduled to start the game here tomorrow night. Going over some information with Bird. We'll have the game tomorrow night for you. 6 o'clock on the Royals television network, including channel 29 here in Kansas City. There is the young left-hander, Jeremy Offeld. Well, he pitched a solid game the other night in Chicago, and teammates didn't get him any runs. And fights off that pitch, which was in on his hands a little bit. Still 2-2.
Jeremy tomorrow night will work against the ace of the St. Louis Cardinals staff, Matt Morris, veteran right-hander.
About that breaking pitch, and almost grabbed the inside corner. Instead, it's 3-2 now.
Terrell Kyle has an outstanding curveball. You take a look at what he's done throughout his career. A 20-game winner a couple years ago, 20-9 in the year 2000. Tough time he's had in his career is the couple years he had to spend in Colorado.
There's a ball booted by Polanco. The boy almost got him anyway, but the throw pulled Martinez off the bag. Randa hustling down the line. And give Joe some credit. He's played with that hamstring problem, but he was working hard to get down the line. A lot of guys might hit that ball to third and think it's a routine out.
Infielder on the right side of the infield bobbles that ball. He's still got a chance to make the play. Infielder on the left side of the infield, well, it's a different story. And Blanco got to that ball in a big hurry. It stayed right near his feet. Strong throwing arm, threw pretty accurately at first base, but Randa able to beat it.
Well, the Royals have a base runner here to lead off the second inning, and they need some base runners. Here is Michael Tucker.
Royals need some breaks. Royals need to capitalize. Bunch some base hits.
Tucker, a career .290 hitter against the Cardinals. Tucker, of course, played for the Braves and the Cubs, so he's seen a lot of St. Louis. 54 games in his career. Two and 0. Tucker, though, still trying to get it untracked this season with the Royals. He comes into tonight with just a .214 batting average. He's seen a lot of Kyle. He's 7 for 28 against this right-hander. Well, it's a pleasant night here at the ballpark. Great to be back here and see this beautiful field and blue sky.
We're thinking this is a little nicer field than what we saw in Texas and Chicago.
Down low, 3-0. Tucker started the game in left, then he moved to right when Quinn was injured.
Tucker, one of those players that's a pretty good National League player. He can play all 3 of those outfield positions as well as first base. So when you get into all the pinch hitting duties and the double switches that National League managers make. He's a pretty valuable guy, and Royals need his versatility here tonight. He's already at his second position this evening.
Well, we're going to join us in St. Louis to watch the Royals and Cardinals at Busch Stadium. Southwest Airlines can get you there with 8 daily nonstops from Kansas City to St. Louis. Call 1-800-I-FLY-SWA or visit southwest.com to plan your trip. We'll see you over in St. Louis next weekend. Here is Brandon Berger, who was not in the starting lineup. Wouldn't it be something if he'd be a key offensively for the Royals tonight? Berger up from Omaha.
How many times do you see that happen in a number of different sports, where the backup player who's pressed into action turns into a big night, a good performance, maybe be the key to the game?
Royals have plenty of work to do, though. They're trailing by half a dozen runs here in the second. Two on, nobody out, an error and a walk. And a blast to left field by Berger. It is going, and it is gone. Maybe he will be an offensive key tonight. It's now a 6-3 ball game. The error and the walk become part of a 3-run home run. Brandon Berger's second big league home run of the year.
It's good to see the folks in blue have a little something to cheer about here tonight. See if the guys can keep it going.
Paul Bird glad to see the offensive support. That cuts the Cardinal lead in half. Still nobody out, and here's Ibanez. Raul was not in the original starting lineup either. That was a pretty good blast off the bat of Brandon Berger.
Brandon Berger, the huge home run season last year at the AA level. Lands that one just in front of the water display. Deep left center field.
That bends in for a strike, 1-1. Well, you know why Earl Weaver liked those 3-run homers. That gets a nice crooked number on the board for you. And a little roller to the second baseman, Vigna. And there's the first out of the inning. One gone here in the bottom of the second.
Batting ninth, the catcher.
The Royals had work to do. There's the ball still resting out there. And nice thick grass on the hillside.
Kind of plugged up there, isn't it?
Yes, sir. 6-3 St. Louis.
I really thought Brandon was going to get water on that one.
That's only the 6th home run surrendered in now the 12th game by Darryl Kyle. So he's been pretty stingy in that department. Batter now is A.J. Hinch, the Royals' number 9 hitter and tonight's catcher. A.J. caught the ball game yesterday afternoon in Chicago as well, so back-to-back games for him. Brent Maine on the left, the Royals' other catcher. And that is a foul ball by just inches down the line in right. A.J. bidding for extra bases. He's down in the count, 0-2.
A.J. normally takes the ball left center field to straight up the middle. Usually shoot it down the right field line all that often. Let's take another look at that pitch as Kyle gets after him with a pitch cut fastball to the outside part of the plate, maybe even off the plate. A.J. just covering the dish and sliced it up the right field line.
Royals have 3 runs on 2 hits. Cardinals 6 runs, 5 hits. We've seen 3 errors so far in the game, and we're not out of the second inning. And glove by Polanco. What a play. Out at first. Twice Hinch nearly got a double. Once a foul ball, the other time a great play. And 2 gone here in the bottom of the second.
Well, Bob, you just talk about the shoddy defense now, where both these clubs struggling defensively. Then we see a play like this by Polanco. Deserves another look. The headlong dive towards that third base line. Watch how quickly he gets back to his feet and gets a lot on this throw to first base. Still not close on the other end of the diamond. Wow, that's impressive.
He had made an error earlier this inning, but a brilliant play right there. Ball 1 to Nathan Perez, who singled in the first. Got as far as third, but did not score. And off the glove of Martinez. And Nathy is on here with 2 out. How will they score that? It was hit pretty sharply.
Nathy bunts just enough that he forces those infielders in tight at the corner. Polanco, the third baseman, is playing in at the edge of the grass. First baseman Tino Martinez playing even with the bag. Most of the time when you get 2 outs, the guys are playing well back of the bag. But again, Nathy bunts just enough that you have to respect that and try to take it away from him.
It'll be scored, a base hit. So runner at first, 2 out. Nathy Perez, the base runner, for the second time tonight. And the hitter will be the second baseman, Luis Alicea. 6-3, St. Louis. Royals batting in the second. The Cardinals scored 5 in the top of this inning. Ball 1. Alicea looking for some offensive answers. He grounded out in the first, though he's still under the 200 mark. Veteran switch hitter who used to play for St. Louis. And it's 2-0. The Royals have a great deal for kids 14 and under. The Royals Blue Crew Fan Club. Members get a Royals game ticket, a glow-in-the-dark visor, Worlds of Fun admission, an AMC movie pass, and more. Over $60 in benefits, all for just $15. A limited number of packages available. Visit KCRoyals.com for an application. 3-0 to Alicea. Well, if Luis could get on, the Royals could get the potential tying run to the plate with Beltran. Wouldn't that be something?
Well, Kyle, with 26 pitches in this inning, his percentage of strikes isn't all that much better than Paul Byrd has going early on here tonight.
He has struggled with his control. 3-0 to Alicea. And right in there for a strike. Kyle trying to collect himself. He got a couple of outs after giving up the 3-run homer to Berger.
Kyle, 23 strikes, 23 balls. Very unlike him.
Now the 3-1. Back to the pitcher. That'll end the inning. But the Royals make a bid to get back in this thing. They get a big 3-run home run from the rookie Brandon Berger. And we head to the third. Cardinals lead the Royals 6-3. Tonight's Royals game on Fox Midwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. By Advanced Auto Parts. The best part is our people. And by the Missouri Division of Tourism. Missouri, where the rivers run. Call 1-800-MISSOURI for your free vacation guide. Here we go in the top of the third. Royals need to put the brakes on the Cardinals right here. 6-0 St. Louis. Brandon Berger hit a 3-run homer to make it 6-3. Whoop, there's a long blast to right by Martinez. And this one's in the bullpen. Tino Martinez, 7th home run of the year, and the 15th home run surrendered by Paul Byrd. How are you going to stop these Cardinals from scoring?
They're having a pretty good time so far tonight. Tino Martinez coming off a 34 home run campaign. A lot of left-handed hitters are low ball hitters. He's not necessarily a low ball hitter. He's more of a line drive guy. This ball's down on the strike zone pretty well, but not quite at the knees. And Martinez got it into the Royals bullpen. Pretty well back into the bullpen.
Now Edgar Renteria.
Royals had started their way back. Now it's up to Paul Byrd to check the Cardinals right where they are and see if his team can complete the comeback.
7 runs, 6 hits for St. Louis. The right center field. That'll plug the gap. Over to get it is Beltran. Edgar Renteria on his way to second. It's a stand-up double.
Looking more and more like it's not going to be Paul Byrd's night. Byrd leaving this ball to the outer part of the plate, and Renteria, good gap shooter.
The center fielder Eli
Goes with this pitch.
Marrero.
Actually, that's really a pretty good pitch. It did get to the outside corner. Renteria just went with it. Royals were shading him slightly the opposite way. He's in with a double. Still nobody out in the inning. Pena with a long, slow walk to the mound.
Yeah, Tony oftentimes gets out there very quickly, but he is taking his time getting out there. Tony Pena, who of course spent some of his playing time with the Cardinals. He was on the Cardinals World Series team in '87. He played with the Cardinals in '87, '88, '89. After many years with the Pirates, and he came over to the American League, you know, Boston and Cleveland. Quick visit after the long walk.
Now the announcement on Mark Quinn, strained left hamstring.
Ouch.
He examined further after the ball game. Of course, Mark Quinn missed all of spring training, missed early part of the season with a broken rib. He'll work his way through a rehab assignment before joining the club. And Matt Suzuki back to work in the Royals bullpen.
That disabled list is getting crowded. Foul ball off the bat of Eli Marrero, who reached on an error in the second. Cardinals with 1 in the first, 5 in the second, 1 so far here in the third. They lead 7-3. Game 1 of a 3-game series. It's home and home this year between the I-70 teams in St. Louis next weekend. And down the line, but foul. Boy, Alicea was sneaking in behind the runner that time, and he was standing almost directly on second base when that pitch was made.
And that tells you there's a breakdown somewhere along there. Either the pitcher has to go to the bag when your second baseman is standing squarely on the bag, or second baseman shouldn't be there. He should be back at a more reasonable defensive position. Got to work it together.
Gaping hole over there. There's a fly ball to right. Michael Tucker makes the catch, and the runner will hang on at second. So there's the first out of the inning. Well, we've seen Paul Byrd be so masterful in so many games this year. It's just kind of stunning the problems he's had here at Arlington the other day. And now, not all of this was his doing tonight, but now he's given up a home run and a double.
I think tonight is probably more surprising than what happened in Arlington. He's a finesse pitcher, not a big strikeout guy. Going to put the ball in play, and the fact that they swung early in the count, they were looking for breaking ball against him, kind of spanking it around. That's going to happen to your finesse pitchers. They're going to get lit up early innings a lot of times if they don't have their good control. But to see him miss the strike zone like he did early on here tonight, that's really the first time we've seen that this season.
There's a strike to Mike Matheny, the Cardinal catcher. Royals have chipped in with a couple of early errors as well. One strike to Matheny. 1 on, 1 out. And hit to left center. Beltran glides over there and makes the catch. Now 2 gone, and Renteria still at second base. Cardinals in the postseason tournament, Major League Baseball, each of the last 2 years. They tied, at least record-wise, for the top spot in their division a year ago, but due to the formula, they were in fact the wild card team in the playoffs. But Tony La Russa's team's been there the last couple of years.
Figure to be there again this year. Very solid entry put together. A lot of Cardinal fans. Boy, what a tradition they've got. They had the misfortune of drawing Arizona in the first round last year. Certainly a tough go.
You think Arizona's tough in a short series? They can run a pretty good 1 and 2 out there, can't they? There's a strike to Perez.
Throw in a couple off days, that's all you're going to see is their 1 and 2.
Exactly. High and tight to the son of the Hall of Famer, Eduardo Perez. Well, a lot of those second generations from that big red machine have taken a shot at Major League Baseball with varying success.
We saw him when he first came to the big leagues with the Anaheim Angels.
Fly ball to right. It should end the inning. Michael Tucker out there, and they prevent any further damage after the leadoff home run by Martinez. Renteria stranded at second. Royals will have Beltran, Sweeney, and Randa coming up when we return. Darryl Kyle and the Cardinals have a 7-3 lead. The Royals come up in the home half of the third. Cardinals have scored each of the first 3 innings. It'll be numbers 3, 4, and 5 for the Royals. Beltran, Sweeney, and Randa. See if the Royals can make some strides here getting back in it. They were down 6-0, and they got a 3-run homer from Brandon Berger. Now it's 7-3 as Beltran leads off. Carlos, his first time up, grounded out to the first baseman Martinez. Gentle breeze blowing here tonight. Would appear to be from the right field corner to the left field corner. It might aid the right-handed batters a little more. Right to the shortstop. Renteria kicks it, picks it up, and out at first. Close play. Beltran hurrying down the line, but Renteria with a nice recovery. Nice to be with you tonight on Fox Sports Net. Our next Fox Sports Net telecast will be a week from tonight. We'll be down I-70 at Busch Stadium, St. Louis, right by the arch for Royals Cardinals. A week from tonight, right here on Fox Sports Net. We'll see you then. Meantime, we'll have some action on the Royals television network, including tomorrow and Sunday. Here's Mike Sweeney. Ball one off the plate. Sweeney popped out to short in the first.
The next road trip, 3 towns. Montreal included in there, along with the trip to New York to take on the Mets. Some new yards for our guys.
The Mets playing at Cleveland tonight in interleague play and leading the Indians 4-3 in the 8th inning of that ball game. Roberto Alomar returning to Jacobs Field as a member of the Mets. Giants Yankees playing in New York. There are some interesting matchups this weekend. Kind of a new wrinkle this year with the interleague play. They've taken it up a little bit. Instead of just playing your counterpart division, although you do have the geographic rival, in this case Kansas City, St. Louis. And it is ball 4. I'm kind of intrigued by the geographic rival between Milwaukee and Minnesota. Here comes Joe Randa, and as Joe makes his way to the plate, let's check out our Missouri Lottery inside the numbers. Joe Randa bringing a pretty hot bat. Highest average against St. Louis from 1980 to the present. Randa and Brent Maine are on that list. Kind of interesting. Randa reached on an error his other plate appearance tonight. There's Brent Maine, who is not in the lineup tonight for the Royals. 1 on, 1 out for Joe. Strike. Randa just flirting with that 300 mark over the last week. He's been as high as 299. Right now he's at 296.
Actually, he's had a pretty good month. Hit 20 of his last 24 games during that stretch. 29 base hits. He's made a pretty good run at 300.
Yes, he has. Swing right there, but it's a foul ball. 0-2.
Joe Randa swinging the bat well. You're going to see line drives from left center field to right center field, more towards right center than you do to left. The fastball he takes the other way. The slider, the breaking ball, maybe out in front a little bit more, and hitting for occasional power. He's pretty much an up the middle hitter.
Now the 0-2, and he strikes out on a big breaking pitch by Kyle. Now number 2 here in the 3rd, and that's Kyle's first strikeout.
First strikeout of the night for this veteran right-hander on a dandy breaking ball. About the things that he does with it. That's about a 12-6 break on that thing. He will pull the string, throw it a little bit bigger, a little bit slower.
Apparently he didn't have that breaking pitch working in the mile-high altitude out in Denver. Didn't have the
another pretty good pitcher out there struggling right now in Mike Hampton. And I just really, and I've said it before, if those two guys can't pitch in Colorado, you shouldn't ask anybody to have to go out there and pitch. Darryl Kyle had a 2-year record of 21 and 30 and a earned run average of very close to 6 points.
There's a call strike.
Mike Hampton, I think, is about as tough a competitor as there is around. And is he having his troubles? In fact, they're saying he'd even rework his contract and void the no trade clause just to find a way out of there.
Wow. 0-2 to Tucker.
It's the straight changeup. Occasionally throw that. You take a guy who's a complete pitcher, a guy who can compete and move the ball around and throw strikes. You should be successful anywhere. Apparently it doesn't happen in Colorado.
Hampton's hitting it well in Denver. He hits an occasional home run. There's Jeff Suppan of the Royals. 0-2 to Michael Tucker. 1 on, 2 out here. Royals down 7-3 in the 3rd, and that missed high and away. 91 miles an hour on that delivery.
Cardinals in the middle stop of a long road trip. It started with 3 games in Cincinnati, Kansas City this weekend. They'll go from here to Seattle.
play. I guess the Cardinals played an exhibition series at Safeco Field, so they have seen it, but that'll be an interesting road trip for them to go against Lou Pinella's ball club in games that count.
They're going to love that flight home from Seattle, that 9 o'clock start time Wednesday night.
Sure. 1-2 to Tucker. Michael asks for and gets timeout. Cardinals jumping out to an early lead here tonight in game 1 of this series. Royals are 9-6 against St. Louis since we've had the interleague regular season games. And knocked down by Martinez, and he's going to tag the runner, and that'll do it. Here in the bottom of the 3rd, Royals strand a base runner. They have now left 3 in 3 innings. On to the 4th. Top of the order for the Cards, 7-3 St. Louis. 7-3 St. Louis. We head to the 4th. Don't miss the I-70 Series finale this Sunday at 1:05. Good seats available for the ball game. You can bring the whole family, and everybody can run the bases after the game in the Singular Wireless Fun Run. So get your tickets for Sunday's game, the Royals and Cardinals. 1:05 here on Sunday. It'll be the top of the order. Vigna, Polanco, and J.D. Drew for St. Louis. Hoisted to right, hit pretty well. Tucker going back near the track, and he hauls it in for out number 1. Last 4 outs have been fly ball outs off the bats of Cardinal batters, but at least they've stayed in the ballpark.
Cardinals, the first 2 times through their lineup, every one of their batters has reached base at least once.
Well, I'd like to see Paul Byrd and company put a 0 on the board here for the top of the 4th. Cardinals with single runs in the 1st and 3rd, and that big 5 in the 2nd. Royals have 3 on the home run by Brandon Berger. Here's Polanco, the 3rd baseman, and in for a strike at the knees. Think about the fans running the bases. Sunday, we enjoyed Senior Citizens Day yesterday in Chicago with the folks running the bases, led by the great Bill Skowron, who works for the White Sox team now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fans really seem to enjoy it. Everybody can run the bases here on Sunday.
He said he put in a rule of no sliding, but we saw guys sliding everywhere.
Sure did. And a little popper to the right side. Sweeney over to give it a look. It's over near that camera bay over there. It's like a nice night down in the dugout suites. Remember our game? What, about 3 weeks ago? We were down there on the first base side, right in that location with the telecast.
Looks like it's standing room only out there tonight. Think any food left? We have to slip down there.
1-2 to Cito Polanco. Again, a popper to that area. Sweeney over to visit the folks again, but no chance to catch the ball. We were there that Sunday. Mike leaned in there after a foul ball.
One of our guys made the play that Michael couldn't make.
Right. We're in the 4th inning. Royals were down early by 6. They're down by 4 right now.
Good to see the ballpark almost full.
Again, the 1-2 bouncer, foul. Dave McKay, the first base coach for the Cardinals, bobbled it, but then made the play. Well, you're right. After the damage that field in Arlington absorbed from the Big 12 tournament, this place just looked marvelous, doesn't it? There's a ground ball right to Nafy. And out at first, digging down the line, was Polanco, but he's out number 2. Well, the Royals trying to pull things back together now after a rather shaky start. There's still time, but down by 4. The way the ball game started with Vigna and Polanco recording relatively routine outs, and then this guy J.D. Drew reached on an error. After that, things didn't go very well for the next 2 1/3 innings for the Royals. Cardinals scoring 7 runs. A fly ball to right. Should be no problem for Tucker. And for the first time tonight, the Redbirds are up and down in order.
And Paul Bird has retired 6 straight.
Nothing doing in the 4th. Royals have come to bat. See what they can do. Brandon Berger will lead off when we return. Cardinals up 7-3. Royals bat in the 4th. Don't forget tomorrow night when you come to the ball game, it's shirt off our back night. Royals players during the game, Royals charities will be selling scratch-off tickets for just $1. Now, no excuses. Some folks said they couldn't find the ticket sellers a year ago. They're the people wearing these neon green shirts. Be about 150 of them here at the ballpark. So get those scratch-off tickets and participate tomorrow. Maybe you'll take home a game-worn autographed jersey. Now those shirts make a pretty good nightlight. Take those home. But those are the guys who
ground crew's got them on tonight. Camera guys got them on. Be all over the yard here tomorrow night.
Berger is a high chopping ground ball that's ruled foul up the line at third. Boy, Brandon nearly had another hit. The third base umpire, Andy Fletcher, says foul ball.
Where the ball goes over the bag. Third base umpire rules that it was in foul territory when it went over the base, and it's a good thing for the Cardinals because Polanco had no chance to throw out anybody.
Oh, I'm not sure how you could tell. That thing was 25 feet in the air. That was a tough call. It'll go as a foul ball strike, 0-2. Berger, a 3-run homer in the 2nd. And he hits a fly ball to center this time, shallow center at that. And the center fielder out there to make the play, Eli Marrero, out number 1. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Now let's see. Show everybody's been talking about, the best sports show period tonight. Former champ Buster Douglas, NASCAR driver Ricky Craven, Mike Tyson's therapist. It's the best sports show period tonight at 11, only on Fox Sports Net. Tyson and Lennox Lewis tomorrow night in Memphis. Pyramid. Batter now is Raul Ibanez. Royals have only 3 hits so far. Fortunately, one was a 3-run homer, so they are still a part of the ball game and trying to find a way to come back here against St. Louis. Ibanez, like Berger, not in the original lineup card. Mark Quinn was injured in the very first inning, and Carlos Fabas was scratched just prior to the ball game. Tony Pena not working with a full deck of playing cards here tonight against St. Louis.
Unfortunately, we're playing the American League rules right now with the designated hitter. You figure the Royals on the short end of the scoreboard. If you had the pitcher hitting, you would pinch hit for him virtually every time that he comes up the rest of the way. And the Royals, for the most part, start out this game 2 players light on their roster, position-wise. With Fabas, you got to figure he's out. You know Quinn's out for the rest of the night. Well, it's probably lucky they're playing here in KC.
One to the gap in left center, but running over to haul it down is Pujols for St. Louis. Tough luck for Ibanez, who is struggling with the bat. He hit that ball pretty well. But it's an out. 2 gone here in the 4th. You know, we've maintained that when you play in these games, the National League team has the smallest adjustment coming to an American League park. You just plug in another batter. You get another look at the fly ball out and the catch by Pujols in left center. But it is an adjustment certainly for the National League pitchers, isn't it?
Oh yeah, certainly it's a psychological thing to where they're going to have that designated hitter in there. You don't set up your inning to where you work against that pitcher. And it's a good night for one of their hitters, usually a pinch hitter, to come in and know you're going to get 3 or 4 at-bats throughout the course of a game.
Although Tony La Russa using Eduardo Perez, a 120 hitter, in the 9th spot in the order is their
And he's one of their top pinch hitters. If you look at the number of appearances that he's put in games, not the most successful pinch hitter that they've got, but a guy that is a guy that normally comes off the bench to pinch hit. Could give him 3 at-bats here tonight.
And they're a little shorthanded, obviously, without Jim Edmonds.
Yes,
that might
are.
change that look, too. 2-0 to A.J. Hinch. Goal to the left side. Backhanded Renteria. Out at first. Close play, but the Royals up and down in order.
Scouting report just paid off for the Cardinals. You see where Renteria was playing?
Right in the hole. Still 7-3 St. Louis as we head to inning number 5. him out. Albert Pujols, the leadoff man. Let's take a look at our Toyota League leaders, which spotlights the Ford Osage product. Thanks to league leaders in runs scored. Well, you'd think Bonds would be up there, wouldn't you? And Sammy. Pujols on that list. Todd Help. Pretty good run producer and scorer. One out here now. Tino Martinez, who homered, leading off the third for St. Louis. Allbird trying to find some answers after 7 runs for the Cardinals in the first 3 innings. He got him in order in the 4th. He gets the first man here in the 5th. And Tino pops it up behind the plate. A.J. is back and he can't get it. A.J. had a foul ball yesterday in Chicago right up against the screen that he couldn't quite get to. Tino Martinez, his last time up, hit a home run into the bullpen in right field, his 7th of the season. And a roller foul. That's off the foot of the former Yankee and Mariner. Tino Martinez. Mentioned the run of jewelry with the Yankees. He has been a great run producer. 6 years, 100 runs batted in or more. Last year 113 with 34 homers in New York. Signed up with the Cardinals through 2004.
Really wanted to stay in New York, as you might understand. I mean, things were working out so well for him there. He was right in the middle of all the good things that were going on for that organization. But George Steinbrenner saw a chance to go out and get an MVP, so took a run at it. Spent some more money. Tino Martinez, you knew it wouldn't take him long to find a home.
Well, with McGuire retiring, I tell you, there's the 1-2 pitch, high and tight. He has had to replace a couple of prominent first basemen. McGuire here in St. Louis, the great home run hitters of all time. Don Mattingly, been in New York. Now Tino takes the strike, and he's a punch out here in the 5th. I tell you, Martinez, who had a great year at Seattle and parlayed that into quite a run at Yankee Stadium.
Quite a pitch right here by Paul Bird. Fastball just painting the outside edge. Bird, he's now retired 8 straight. Hoping that he can hang around in this ball game long enough to give his club a chance to come from behind.
Edgar Renteria takes a strike.
And at the same time, save his bullpen.
Good point.
Number of things that a starter wants to do. You obviously want to win a ball game, but get it into the middle innings, to the late innings if you possibly can. Also, you want to keep that bullpen fresh for the next guy, the scheduled starter tomorrow evening.
There's the Royals pen out in right field. Jason Grimsley, of course, on the disabled list, so that's kind of a restructured group out there as well. Hernandez with a couple of saves, the series in Chicago. Hernandez was honored and recognized before the game for his saves and moving into 12th place on the all-time save list. That's foul and out of play. Old friend of yours, former Royal front office employee Bob Weers, was on hand for that presentation to Roberto Hernandez.
He was the Royals PR director when I first came to the big leagues. You take all the rookies over to the side and kind of set them down and say, all right, now here's kind of what's expected of you. Here's how you probably ought to handle it. We'll be coming to you on a regular basis to need your help on some things. He's pretty good.
Now with the Rolaids folks who sponsored the Fireman of the Year award, other awards surrounding relief pitching. 2-2 the count to Edgar Renteria. Bird trying to get him in order for the 2nd inning in a row. We're in the top of the 5th right now. That's headed up the middle and just on through a base hit. Renteria, a base runner for the 3rd time. He's 2 out of 3.
The center fielder, Eli Marrero.
Renteria now with a 6-game hitting streak with his 2-hit performance here tonight. A little slider from Paul Bird, got it down and out over the plate. Renteria just took it right back up the middle. Renteria is playing great defense this year as well. He has only 3 errors. He's up in the mid-20s throughout the course of a season. Been a lot more steady this year.
Now Marrero, the center fielder. There goes the base runner. And did they call a balk? Big jump and a running start to second. And Paul Byrd called for a balk here, and the Cardinals will have a man at second base. Kind of forgot about the base runner for a moment.
Well, there goes Renteria. Paul Byrd needed to step off and break contact with that rubber right there. Instead, he makes the move to first base. If you make the move to first base, you've got to throw. And he did make the move to first base. If he would have broken contact with the rubber, he could have stepped off and then made his play without the ball.
And though fields and throws out Marrero, so no damage done. Cardinals strand their fourth runner of the game. Mid part of the ball game, 4.5 in the books. The Royals have the top of the order coming up. Royals down by 4. Little fella, little slugger, bobblehead. Well, let's see if Nafee can get it going. He's 2 out of 2 tonight. A pair of singles. It'll be followed by Alicea, then Beltran. If anybody gets on, you get Sweeney and Randa. Royals could use a big inning. They're down by 4, and midway point of the ball game.
Midway point, the Cardinals win the first half. The Royals got to find a way to come back and win the second half. Got some scoring opportunities those first 4 innings for KC.
2-0 to Nafee. Showed bunt, took way off the mark. Ball 3. Kyle 1-1 against the Royals. He won at St. Louis 2 years ago. He lost here last year to the Royals. And that's a called strike. 3-1. Nafee Perez, a couple of singles. Again, now 4 out of 13 against Kyle in their matchups, including tonight. High chopping ground ball, and great play, Renteria. Well, not only does he not make errors, only 3 on the year, he makes tough plays. That looked like it might get through.
Positioning is so important right there, because Renteria makes this play on the first base side of second base. I don't think the second baseman Vina could have thrown him out if he had been forced to make that play. He's going the opposite way, but Renteria again on the first base side of the bag at second base, and with momentum behind him to make this throw, makes it off balance and got a lot on it to get Perez at first. This is a solid defensive team, especially up the middle.
So 1 down in the bottom of the 5th, and here's Alicea taking a strike. Luis twice has rolled out to the second baseman Vina.
So you can get Slugger to autograph your bobblehead.
He could do it. He'll nod yes if you ask him. And that missed away. 1-1. If the Royals are to come back, they may need another long ball in this game. There are 3 runs, the result of a 3-run Brandon Berger homer. Get a couple of guys on and sock another one. That would aid in the comeback effort. There's Berger, who homered after an error and a walk, put 2 runners on in the second. Brandon, the rookie, back from the minor leagues for the 3rd appearance this year. And there's a slowly hit ground ball to Martinez, who been a busy guy at first base tonight. Well, let's take a look at our Ford scoreboard. Of course, all interleague action. Orioles beat the Dodgers. Mets are leading in Cleveland late in the ball game. Yankees up on Bonds and the Giants. Padres leading the Devil Rays. Braves all over the Texas Rangers. Pirates lead Milwaukee in the one National League matchup that we have to have. D-backs, Red Sox starting their series. Phillies, Tigers. Blue Jays putting it on the Rockies at Skydome. Expos in Chicago to play the Sox, and those are the other matchups later on. Still kind of get a double take looking at some of those matchups, don't you? How about the Giants and Yankees playing, and the Diamondbacks Red Sox? Here's Beltran, and he rolls one foul. Arguably at this point of the season, you could make a case that Arizona and Boston might be the 2 best teams. How that'll play out come postseason, we don't know, but at least right now.
Well, Boston has the best won-loss percentage in all of baseball. People think that Arizona is probably the best team over the National League. Winning percentage would tell you that.
In a ground ball foul.
Come their World Championship.
Oh boy. One of the great World Series in recent memories. The great Yankee comebacks in New York, and the tremendous efforts by Randy Johnson and Schilling for Arizona. Our old friend Mike Swanson, who's the PR guy for the Diamondbacks. We saw him during the basketball season flashing that World Series ring. He was rightly very proud of that.
He was very prominent in a number of the dugout shots, especially at the start of the games. World Series.
Of course, the Diamondbacks played here last year. Will you see both World Series participants in Kansas City this year? Obviously, you'll see one of them. 0-2 to Beltran. Tried to wait on it, fouled it straight back. Carlos 0-2 here. Well, was trying to get a runner on. The first two men have grounded out. Cued to the left side, past the third baseman, and be no play on Beltran. Once it got by Polanco, you knew they were in business. Carlos 1 out of 3 now.
This ball's almost impossible to pick up, Bob. It's in on the hands of Carlos Beltran. This inside-out swing has got sideways spin on it. Goes by the third baseman Polanco and actually kind of slices and stays down. Renteria. As the ball slicing away from him, he's so far out of position and off balance, just picking this thing up. He's got no chance to throw out a base runner, much less a base runner that gets down the line as well as Beltran does. That is what they call a seeing eye base hit.
A line drive tomorrow morning, though. Now Sweeney 0 for 1 with a base on balls. Michael had 2 hits yesterday in the game at Comiskey Park. Royals have just 4 hits now. That was the 4th a moment ago there by Beltran. 7-3 Cardinals. They've out-hit the Royals 8-4.
Royals struggled on that last road trip, but the team batted an average of .221.
There goes Beltran. Boy, he got a tremendous jump, and even a good defensive catcher with a great arm. A guy like Matheny had very little chance. Carlos has his 17th steal in 19 tries.
Well, what a percentage he has, and one of the reasons, check out the pitch that he goes on. Slow curveball. It stays inside to the right-handed hitter. Catchers would like something away from that right-handed hitter so they can come firing out, get a little more on their throw, but that a slow breaking ball in at the jersey of Sweeney made it really tough on Mike Matheny, the catcher.
That's a big steal if Sweeney can come through with a base hit. 2-0 to Mike. 3-0. Of course, the other question is, with first base open, will he get a pitch to hit?
Those are the questions that Tony Pena is going to have to answer over the next few weeks as he develops his philosophy, the strategy that he wants to use. We saw him run in the Chicago White Sox series, down by 4 runs with Neifi Perez. He got thrown out trying to steal.
Ball 4. Well, the infield hit by Beltran with 2 outs, stolen base. Sweeney walks for the second time. Well, we told you earlier how well Randa has hit in his career against the Cardinals. So far tonight, though, 0 for 2, so maybe he's due to whack one. Joe Randa getting a chance to play against the Cardinals. How does he feel about this rivalry?
Yeah, I hate the color red. No, you know, it's one of those things. You catch a team at a time where you're feeling good at the plate, and I think it was back, was 99 or 2000 when they came here the first time, and you know that was really the time where I started coming into my own as a hitter, and so you just catch teams at different times, and sometimes it seems like you're catching them at the right time, and you know, but numbers don't really mean too much. You know, it's all about what the team does. You could be hitting 500-600 against a team, but if the team doesn't win, it really doesn't mean too much. So it's going to be a fun series, and hopefully we can put a couple W's on the board and make the fans go home happy.
Joe down in the count here, 0-2. Battling Darryl Kyle, 2 on, 2 out. Well, given a little chance here in the 5th inning. Strike him out, and the inning is over. Miranda strikes out for the second time, and the Royals strand a pair. They have now left 5. After 5, it is St. Louis 7 and the Royals 3. planning to watch the Royals take on the Cardinals in St. Louis, here's a great idea. Southwest Airlines can get you there with 8 daily non-stops from Kansas City to St. Louis. Call 1-800-I-FLY-SWA or visit southwest.com to plan your trip. Next weekend, these two teams over at Busch Stadium. Paul Byrd, after a very shaky start, 7 runs the first 3 innings. Now, not all of them were earned, but Cardinals did put 5 up in the second. St. Louis still leads by 4 as they bat here in the 6th.
This is the beauty of being an American League pitcher, where you have that designated hitter. You get off to a tough start, but if you show your manager you're throwing the ball pretty well in innings 4 and 5, they don't have to pinch hit for you. They can just keep you out there. Just glad to have that starting pitcher eat up innings, save the bullpen for when you really need them. Paul Byrd has a chance to get his club right back in, and if he can throw out some more zeros and the offense can come back against Darryl Kyle and whoever might follow him to the mound.
Matheny's the leadoff man, and a liner down the line in left, and a fair ball. And into the corner, banging out of the corner. It'll be a leadoff double. Well, the Cardinals get their 3rd double of the ball game to go along with a home run. Matheny is 1 out of 2.
Check out the location of this pitch. It's a curveball, trying to get it down and away, and that ball stays belt high inner half of the plate. Matheny's got his 7th double of the season. Peppered it all the way to the base of the wall in left field.
Cardinals have not scored since the Martinez home run leading off the 3rd. Eduardo Perez, the batter. And he's going to try to advance the runner, and he may do more than that. Yep, he's going to beat it out. Well, that was quite a bunt by Perez. Now 1st and 3rd, nobody out. When Byrd couldn't come up with it, there's no way Alicea would be able to make a play. And back-to-back hits for the Cardinals.
Perez just getting this ball down, get it to the right side of the infield. That makes it a long throw to get that lead base runner. He was fortunate enough to chop it over the pitcher's head. Byrd cut the angle a little bit short. He didn't think the hop would be that high. Cardinals looking pretty good. They're off to a good start here in the top of the 6th.
Now the top of the order swings around. Fernando Vina.
Royals now beginning to work out in the Royals bullpen. There's Max Suzuki early on in the game. Royals works here in the 6th.
Runners at the corners. Flying away for a ball. In that 2nd inning, the Royals made an error. Byrd walked a couple of batters. Cardinals basically did it with singles. Along with the miscues in the field. Fly ball foul down the right field line. 1 and 2 to Vina, the Cardinals' 2nd baseman. Vina, a pretty good clutch guy in his career. Those numbers would bear that out. Runners in scoring position, and that's the situation right here. 389. Hit over 300 last year for St. Louis. And to the plate and out. Boy, good play. Good quick decision by Byrd. Ball with some hang time out there. And Matheny trying to score is cut down.
Matheny with a good read on this ball, Bob. A high chopping ground ball. He was going on contact right here. Straight in slide. To hurry to get to the plate. Trying to beat that throw. A.J. Hinch right there receiving the ball from Paul Byrd. Gutsy play on the part of Byrd. This is going to be a close play at the plate. He needs an out desperately. Doesn't want to give up any more runs. Good play by Paul Byrd. Good sweeping tag by A.J. Hinch.
And our Pizza Hut perfect delivery. So now runners at 1st and 2nd, and Polanco will be up there. 0 for a ball. Now that is a daring play. Not only does he need an out, they don't want to let the Cardinals get any more runs. So he made a daring play, but one he about had to make in that spot. It produced the out. Now they need a double play ball. Bird's had a couple tough fielding chances. That bounding bunt by Perez, and then that ball. 2-0 to Polanco, with the big hitters coming up next. Way inside, 3-0. Polanco 1 out of 3 in the game, a second inning single.
You talk about the big hitters coming up. I think every one of these guys has looked terrific at the plate. Guys taking the ball up the middle, slightly the opposite way. Those are the guys that are tough to pitch to.
They've got good components, don't they, on this team? There's a strike. Polanco drove in one of their runs with his second inning hit. They have 6 different players with runs batted in this game. There's 7 runs. Now Polanco's going to have a word with his third base coach, Jose Oquendo. 3 balls and a strike. Tony Pena and Al Nipper. First base dugout. 6 o'clock game here tomorrow. Then the 1 o'clock start, or actually 1:05 on Sunday. Then the Florida Marlins come in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll see you here tomorrow night. The Royals Television Network, KCWE in Kansas City. There go the runners. And just foul. That might have played it a pair. Instead, they'll return to their respective bases.
Cardinals doing everything they can to apply pressure to Paul Bird tonight in that Royals infield. The Royals are going on the pitch for about the 4th or 5th time here tonight. So they've got the lead. They can roll the dice a little bit, gamble a little bit more when you've got the comfortable cushion.
Birds come back to make it a 3-2 count after being down early, 3-0. Polanco can handle the bat pretty well. There go the runners again. And up the middle, out at second, out at first. The bat ends up on the pitcher's mound, at least part of it. How about that? Royals get out of it without any damage, as it turned out. Royals still need some runs. We head to the bottom of the 6th.
Slugger kind of polishing the place up a little bit as he's pinned against the base of the scoreboard and straightaway center field. Put a little shine on that number 5 there, Slugger. Cardinals getting the best of this one, leading 7-3. We move on to the bottom of the 6th inning. Royals playing some super defense this last half inning. Through the middle, and Alicea near the bag at second base. Unassisted put out right there. Really on to first base. Royals able to get out of the jam in the top half of the inning.
And the work is completed out in center field. They're waiting for them to get done. Apparently that's right in the batter's eye, so delay here while we get the batter in there. It'll be Michael Tucker, Brandon Berger, and Raul Ibanez. Royals have not scored since the 3-run homer by Berger in the second. Needs some more runs. Tucker, fly ball to left, headed to the seats in foul territory. Strike 1. Michael Tucker tonight, a walk and a run scored. He came around on that Berger homer.
Getting late in the ball game where the Royals have a dozen outs left. Need to pick up at least 4 runs to tie. Got to get the offense rolling.
Royals have only 4 hits. And there's a liner off the bat of Tucker, but J.D. Drew able to haul it in for out number 1. 1 down, bottom of the 6th.
The left fielder, Brandon Berger.
Now Brandon Berger, who had the 3-run homer in the second, drive in all the Royal runs. Brandon flied to center his next time up. Right through there for a strike. That was a pretty good idea in the second inning. At that time, it chopped the Cardinal lead in half. Now another long drive by Berger to left field, and this one is gone into the bullpen. It's now 7-4. St. Louis, and Berger with 2 home runs in this ball game against an outstanding veteran pitcher, Darryl Kyle.
Brandon acting like he's getting tired of working I-29. Back and forth between here and the minor leagues. Wants to make a statement. Here's his opportunity. He wants to stay a while. some of what he did at the AA level last year when he absolutely broke out and made himself an instant prospect in the Royals organization.
Now the batter's Ibanez. Well, the hamstring injury tonight to Quinn, and Knobloch's on the disabled list already. Not only is Berger bidding for playing time, and there's certainly an opportunity for that.
First home run comes on a fastball. That one comes on a breaking ball.
Now 2-0 to Ibanez. Oh, too bad the liner by Tucker didn't find a hole. He hit the ball pretty hard. But
well, the important thing is the Royals are getting good swings against Darryl Kyle and starting to make some solid contact. Just keep the offense chugging along.
Kyle throwing his 100th pitch of the game right here. And it missed away, ball 3. Ibanez occupying the 8th spot on the order, so the number 9 man is next. So if these guys could set the table, you got the top of the order coming up. The 3-0. A strike.
Dave Beers now beginning to work in the St. Louis Cardinal bullpen. You have to feel like Kyle is not on his game 100%. 101 pitches thrown, 56 strikes.
And a little popper to left field, and it is a base hit. And it's going to be a double for Ibanez. Well, when you're kind of struggling offensively, you need a hit like that now and then. And a little looper to left, and nobody could get there.
Well, Pujols is playing up towards the alley in left center field, and Ibanez knows that he didn't get much on that, but he looks around and says, hey, who's going to be able to run that one down? Renteria out. He has no chance. Ball lands fair by about 5 feet. Ibanez in with the double. Well, still alive here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Each team has stranded 5 runners so far. A.J. Hinch will be up there. Ground out victim twice, once on a terrific play by the third baseman Polanco. Way low and outside. Ball 1. Top of the order due up next. Still just 1 out. It's now a 3-run Cardinal lead. St. Louis is led by as many as 6 here tonight, and that was early on in the 2nd inning. Held back, checked in time, 2-0. Base hit here could make it a 2-run Cardinal lead with the top of the order due up there right after A.J. Hinch a key guy right now. Boy, way off target with that pitch is Kyle.
Look how deep they're playing against A.J. We haven't seen an American League club play that deep against Hinch. Matheny's made a couple really nice plays behind the plate. Those last 2 breaking balls outside by about 4 feet, and Cardinal catcher having no problem getting out there to smother them.
Where you
smother those, the sacrifice fly gets another run home.
Up too high, ball 4. 4-pitch walk to the number 9 hitter. Well, this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, with interleague play really swinging into action. 2 baseball powers colliding. Barry Bonds head-to-head against the Rocket, Roger Clemens, the Giants and Yankees. Or a couple of aces matched up. Kurt Schilling against the defending world champion Diamondbacks. And Pedro Martinez and the first-place Red Sox, plus other regional action. It's all this weekend. You have to check your local listings for the start time in your area, but some great ball games coming up on Fox Saturday Baseball. And we're going to see a new pitcher for the Cardinals here in the 6th. Beers have been warming up for the Cardinals, and will be brought in as Kyle heads to the dugout. It's 7-4. St. Louis. We'll be right back.
Darryl Kyle didn't have his best outing of the season here tonight, but he's in a position to be the winner if the St. Louis Cardinals hold on to this 3-run lead that they have right now. He gives way to Dave Beers after 5 1/3 innings of work. Beers, the former closer for the St. Louis Cardinals, but now used as a setup man, comes on for the 27th time this year. He split a half a dozen decisions, has 1 save. Folks hitting just .231 against Beers. Given up 4 home runs. The walks are a little bit higher than what he would like. 21 walks and almost 31 innings of work.
He'll deal with the top of the order for the Royals. Nafy Perez, who is 2 for 4 in the past against this relief pitcher, Dave Veers. Nafy 2 out of 3 tonight. The only time they got him was on a great play by Renteria. Royals have 2 on and 1 out. They're down by 3 runs here in the 6th. And a fly ball to shallow center on the very first pitch. And there's the second out. So Nafy hacking away at that first delivery.
The second baseman.
Runners have to hang on at first and second. Pena there kind of shaking his head, hoping to get some more runs here in the 6th. Now a key guy obviously is Alicea. If he could somehow extend the inning, Beltran would have a shot at doing some damage. Weiss, who was originally the designated hitter tonight, but then inserted into the lineup when Fabulous was a late scratch, and he's looking for his first hit. And he lines one to center, but right there is Marinero, and the inning is over. Royals didn't take long, couple of pitches and 2 outs, and that snuffs out that threat. On to the 7th, but Berger counted for all 4 Royal runs.
Brandon Berger, the man of the night as far as the Royals are concerned, and a wild one here at Kauffman Stadium. The St. Louis Cardinals leading 7-4. A lot of action in the first couple innings. Quinn came up lame on this first inning play on a base hit by Albert Pujols. Then Brandon Berger, he worked his magic. He's got a couple home runs here tonight, 4 RBIs after Mark Quinn left the ball game. Brandon Berger replaced him in the outfield. And a 3-run shot in the second, added another one in the 6th inning. So he is responsible for all the Royals offense here tonight as we take a look at our advanced auto parts game summary. Brad Boyle's the new pitcher for the Royals. That comes on for the 8th time this year.
And he'll have to wade right down Main Street here in this Cardinal batting order. J.D. Drew, Albert Pujols, and Tino Martinez due up. Numbers 3, 4, and 5. And a roller foul, a ball and a strike to J.D. Drew. Boyles pitched at Chicago the other day, an inning and 2/3. Gave up a hit and a walk. Was not allowed a run in 5 of his 7 outings with the big league ball club. Only home run surrendered to the league leader in that department, Alex Rodriguez.
Our starting pitchers threw almost the same number of pitches, almost the same strike ratio. Paul Bird 104 pitches, 61 strikes. Darryl Kyle 105 pitches, 57 of them were in for strikes.
Now it's 2-2. Got to keep the Cardinals off the scoreboard. Royals have 3 more at bats. Brandon Berger's accounted for all 4 of the Royal runs with a pair of homers. The Cardinals with that big 5 spot in the 2nd inning. That is the difference. And a call, strike 3. That'll do it for J.D. Drew. Has a little critique for the home plate umpire as he heads to the dugout.
We'll get another look at it from our center field camera. J.D. Drew is not going to like this call, and I can understand why. Brad Boyle's going to like it a lot. See that little puff ball that he throws? He uses so much rosin. It's off the tips of his fingers when he throws his pitch.
Those aren't vapor trails.
No. There's another puff ball right there.
Here's Pujols. He has a double, a fly ball double in the 1st, and he was out trying to advance to 3rd. There's the rosin bag. Hit into a double play. He's grounded out. High and inside to Pujols. That little Getty up to it.
Royals can run that fastball up there in the low 90s. Very good curveball.
You know, a lot of pitchers, their teammate Steve Busby in this category, almost never use the rosin bag. Some guys out there pounding that rosin bag a lot. Wow, he turned on that pitch, didn't he? That's into the corner and into the seats on one hop. Man may have reached out and grabbed it on the way to the seat, so it's a double for Pujols.
This kid's amazing. The adjustments he can make at home plate. He got backed off by a fastball. The next one's on the outside corner. Royals comes back inside with another one, and Pujols acted as though he knew it was coming on the inside part of the plate. Pumped it into the left field corner. Pujols his second double of the night, 16th on the season.
Only his second year in the big leagues, just his third year in pro ball, period. He was a surprise roster addition last year in spring training and went on to be the unanimous Rookie of the Year.
Cardinals could not believe what they saw in spring training as far as what he did offensively. They knew that he was a pretty solid athlete as far as his versatility, but they kept giving him chances in spring training. Figured, well, he'll have a bad day. They'll send him to the minor leagues for some seasoning because they really thought he needed the seasoning. Every day they put him in there, he showed them a little bit more. He was a solid contributor by the time they left camp.
Top it off, as you say, versatile. He played first, he played third, he played left and right.
His best position is probably first base, which is bad news for him because they already got a pretty good one over there.
Now, the way he can hit, they'll find a spot. You'd think that'd be tough enough on a rookie being asked to play a lot of positions, but then he delivers a season like he did with a 300 plus average, 329, 37 homers, and then to drive in 130 runs
and hit all kinds of pitching. Just didn't bother it.
Nope. 0-2 to Tino right here. Right up the middle on an 0-2 pitch. That's going to send the runner around third, and now the throw's cut off. There's a big run for the Cardinals. Boy, that is a professional hitter, isn't it? Tino Martinez, 0-2, and just went with the pitch right up the middle to drive in the run.
Well, Brad Boyles wants to mix his pitches on this veteran left-handed hitter. Well, starts him off with a curveball. Ball strike one, inside corner with the fastball. Now this next pitch a little too good. It's above the knees, middle part of the plate. Martinez gets a bit of a break right there with a fat pitch on 0-2. Cardinals running the bases aggressively all night long. Martinez moves on to second base when the ball gets away in the infield.
Well, that didn't work out very well for the Royals. They cut the throw off, but then the runner still goes to second, and they didn't get a play at the plate either. But now it is 8-4 Cardinals. Here's Renteria. There's the slow breaking ball in for strike two. And the Cardinals scoring their first run since the third. Late in the ball game, those are really big runs now. 8-4 St. Louis. So the Cardinals had 6 different guys driving in runs. Now they have 8 different players who have scored the runs.
Center fielder Eli Marrero.
So they've done it up and down the batting order. Now 2 outs. Here's Eli Marrero. A double by Pujols, though, gave them the scoring chance. Royals, you know, have had opportunities to come all the way back. They have stranded 7 base runners. Well, it's just again tonight having trouble getting sustained offense. Other than the home runs by Berger, they have only 4 other hits. The rest of the lineup. And there's a popper to the left side that should end the inning. A.P. Perez puts the squeeze on it. That does it. But the Cardinals get a big run on 2 hits. A man left. They've stranded 6. 7th inning stretch time here in Kansas City. Big night in sports around the country. Let's find out what's going on. We'll take you for that information to the Fox Network Center.
This sports break is brought to you by Acura. Hi, I'm Patrick O'Neill at the Fox Network Center. Former NBA star Jason Williams pleaded innocent today to charges he fatally shot a limousine driver. NASCAR cancels practice and qualifying for the Pocono 500 because of water seeping through the track surface. And David Beckham's penalty kick gave England a 1-0 victory over Argentina at the World Cup in Japan. For all the latest news and scores, stay with Fox Sports Net.
Tonight's Kansas City Royals game on Fox Midwest has been brought to you by Subway. Come in today and let Subway show you how good a fresh-made sandwich can be. And by Dodge. To get anywhere in life, you got to grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Well, here we go in the bottom of the 7th. The Royals are still trying to catch up in this game. That's been the story since the very first inning. And once again, it's a 4-run problem. Royals giving up a run in the top of this inning. The RBI hit by Tino Martinez. Now it'll be Beltran, Sweeney, and Randa. It's just the 7th. You got 3 chances, but with these 3 guys coming up, this might be a great chance for the Royals to get something going. But first pitch ground out, and the Royals swinging at the first pitch. All 3 batters who have faced Beers.
Beers might not have any trouble closing out this ball game at that rate. You're right. Navy Perez, first ball hitting, flies to center. Luis Alicea lines out on the first pitch. With 1-hop grounder to Tino Martinez at first. 1 inning of work, 3 pitches thrown by Dave Beers.
Goodness, that is way too easy. Now here's Sweeney. And of the 3, the only one that really hit the ball hard was Alicea, who lined out to center. Now Sweeney 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. Michael takes high. Boy, Sweeney just not seen many hittable pitches tonight. Well, it's kind of a funny set of totals. Only 6 hits, but they've left 7 runners on. Royals have made 2 errors. The Cardinals 1.
You're right. Mike has not seen many pitches here tonight. It'd be interesting to see what he does in this at bat. Now, Mike is known in the American League as a very patient hitter. But when you get into that 4th at bat, and you still haven't seen much to hit. You can start going for that pitcher's pitch, or do you still remain patient? See what Mike does.
I'd say he's patient. Now he may walk again. Only guy supplying any punch tonight has been Brandon Berger, who was not in the original lineup. He has all 4 runs batted in on 2 homers. 3-0 to Sweeney. Cardinals got an unearned run in the first and then an amazing 5-run inning in the second. They didn't have anything more than a single. And there's a little popper. Might be trouble, and Martinez runs it down in foul territory. Sweeney is out. Pretty good play there by Martinez with his back to the infield.
Yeah, this is a tough play. It's really a difficult angle for him, running with his back to the infield, taking it over his shoulder. Just into foul territory. Big soft hands. Made it look pretty routine.
It looked like it could be the right field version of that hit Ibanez got, but this one caught in foul territory. Now 2 out to Joe Randa. And Joe sends one right back through the middle for a base hit. Joe swinging at the first pitch, and that is his first hit of the night. He's 1 out of 3.
Right fielder Michael Tucker.
Well, Tucker's the batter now. If he could get on, Brandon Berger'd come up. Tucker tonight has a walk. He has lined out. He's bounced out to first. Michael Tucker, the runner at first, and 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, just got their 7th hit of the game. And he swings at the first pitch in a ground ball. We'll be with you right here on Fox Sports Net 1 week from tonight. The venue changes, but the teams are the same, Royals and Cardinals, and we'll be at Busch Stadium, St. Louis next Friday night at 7. Right here on Fox Sports Net all around Mid-America. Three telecasts in a row for you here on Fox Sports Net. Games 2 and 3 from Chicago, and here tonight. And that ball gets away, and Randa goes to second.
Not seem like a lot to get a man on at second base, but a lot easier to get him home from that position than it is from over at first base. Takes not only a double, probably something deep into the gaps. Now a base hit will probably get Randa home from second base. The Royals are in a position getting late in the ball game. They can't let any opportunities get away.
They have let some get by so far, as evidenced by the 7 left on base. 1-1 to Tucker. And he rolls it to the right side. Martinez to the pitcher covering. Inning over. And the Royals do strand another base runner. They're 8th. On to the 8th we go. It is 8-4 St. Louis Cardinals. It's the top of the 8th inning. The Cardinals have Mike Matheny in the leadoff spot. He's their number 8 hitter. Then Perez, then to the top of the order, and Fernando Venez. Tony Pena and bench coach Bob Schaefer talk it over. 8-4 St. Louis. And there's a leadoff base hit for Matheny. His second hit of the game.
Well, the Cardinals got out of the gates quickly here tonight, and they really haven't looked back. But let's take a look at our Pennzoil protection play. Actually, protection plays. They both came in the top of the 6th inning. Paul Bird on the one hopper back to the mound, throws home to get Mike Matheny at the plate, and then followed it up after this play, tagged by A.J. Hinch. He bounced her up the middle that Luis Alicea picked off near the bag at second. Got the force out there. Lay on to first, and the Cardinals turned away in that inning.
Now here's Eduardo Perez. And a foul ball, strike one. Talk about him being the son of the former Red star, now Hall of Famer Tony Perez. And the other players, the second generation from that big red machine. Brian McRae fit in that category with Mac, and having played with those guys for a while. And of course the most prominent, I guess, would be Ken Griffey Jr. Pete Rose Jr. a little taste of the major leagues.
Got that taste against the Royals.
Right. Sounds like Junior's settling in now a little better in Cincinnati. Things have calmed down a little bit.
So he homered yesterday. I think his first one of the year. Probably going to be a pretty good race with the Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. It's a 2-game lead coming into play today.
Certainly a couple of thinking managers involved there, Boone and LaBrusa. LaBrusa, of course, has had a great run as a manager. Championships in Oakland, won World Series titles, and a couple of other American League pennants. Playoffs back-to-back years over in St. Louis.
Media guide, have you checked all the guys that they've got in their front office?
Oh,
Shockity, their general manager, but boy, he's got plenty of help.
that's a foul ball. Plus special instructors, the likes of Lou Brock and Bob Gibson. They've got a recent Cardinal headed to the Hall of Fame this year, the Wizard, Ozzie Smith. He's the cover boy along with Pujols on their media guide, the Rookie of the Year and the Hall of Fame inductee. Perez trying to move this base runner. Cardinals scored a run in the 7th to go back up by 4. Hit him. Well, that pitch just flat got away from Brad Boyles. Now 2 on and nobody out.
Brad Boyles has gotten a lot of mileage out of his curveball here tonight. Trying to get it down and away. Flipped it up there and got Perez on the outside of the left arm.
It is late in the game now. We're in the 8th inning.
Cardinals have this thing in a position right now. They can run away and hide. More big innings. Al Nipper's on the phone out to the Royals bullpen. These are former interim manager, now the bullpen coach. Looks like it's Brian Schaus, the left-hander, beginning to work.
Top of the order up there now with Pena, then Polanco and J.D. Drew. The Cardinals with a chance maybe to just put the thing out of reach. They may have done that in the 2nd, although the Royals have certainly had chances to come back in this thing. Royals were down by 6 early, then they were down by 3. Cardinals added single runs in the 3rd and 7th, and once again now it's a 4-run St. Louis lead.
Pitch runner into the ballgame, Kerry Robinson. Backup outfielder and a speedster is going to run for Matheny. I'm sure he'll stay in the ballgame, go out and play center field.
Your attention, please, for St. Louis. Number 13, Kerry Robinson, pitch running for the Cardinals.
Activity in the Cardinal bullpen, a familiar face. Mike Timlin, formerly with the Toronto Blue Jays, beginning to work for St. Louis.
Now what will Vigna do here? He can handle the bat. He is swinging away, it appears, or at least taking the pitch, and it's ball one. Vigna has one hit. And a roller to short. One out there, and that's all they'll get. Wouldn't hit all that sharply. And now runners at the corners. For St. Louis with one out. A reminder, the best sports show periods, All-Star Summer kicking off. It's a month-long celebration. Special guests like Shaq, Barry Bonds, The Rock, and others. Plus seen Tom's bachelor party, Free TV's first ultimate fight. Lots of stars, complete insanity. The best sports show period, All-Star Summer, later this month. That's right here on Fox Sports Net. Royals, who gave up a leadoff hit to Matheny, then hit Perez, now gets a forced play at second. So one out in the inning. Placido Polanco will be up there. He hit into a double play his last time up. For the night, he's 1 out of 4. Arizona Diamondbacks won at Boston tonight in one of those featured matchups this weekend. Runners at the corners here for St. Louis. Ball one to Polanco. St. Louis now with 13 hits. They have led since the very first inning. And a roller to second. Out. Save. Run scores. Again, the ground ball not hit sharply enough to get a double play. And it is now 9-4 St. Louis.
Well, the ground ball is there for Brad Boyles. That's what he wanted to do. He got the ball in on the hands of the hitter. Say, Bob, very little you can do with that. The toss too long to the shortstop covered at second base. If you can shorten up that throw a little bit, you got a better chance to get in the relay in time.
Now man at first, 2 out for J.D. Drew. Low breaking ball is the strike. Drew's one hit tonight was a second inning single. He reached on an error in the first and then moments later scored the first run of the game. On 1. Cardinals with a win here tonight would be a game under 500 on the road, but they are 8 over the break-even mark at Busch Stadium. Split set in quite a battle with the Reds for the top spot in the National League Central Division. Reds have a late ball game tonight. They are out in Anaheim. Now 1 and 2 to J.D. Drew.
Up in their division, it looks like it's going to be a 2-team race. There's pretty good separation with those 2 teams, then Pittsburgh, Houston, Chicago, and Milwaukee. Milwaukee, as well as the Cubs, certainly appear to be out of it. Pittsburgh and Houston appears would be doing well to get back to 500 between now and the end of the season. So you like to eliminate teams in your division. That way you've got one other horse to keep an eye on. And everybody involved in it if you're one of those contenders.
2 and 2 to J.D. Drew as LaRussa watches from the third base dugout. And a foul ball. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. The attendance here tonight for game 1 of the series announced at 34,194. We'll be back tomorrow night on the Royals Television Network and Sunday as well. Tomorrow night, Channel 29 in Kansas City, Sunday on Channel 9, and then next Friday night, a week from tonight, right here on Fox Sports Net from St. Louis. In the 2-2 to Drew. Ball 3.
Royals now starting to work in his straight changeup to go along with the fastball and the curveball. Second time through the order, just trying to give it a little different look right now.
Drew now, a full count pitch coming up. There goes the runner, and it's ball 4. The Cardinals extend the inning. Royals will have to deal with a young slugger, Albert Pujols,
The left
now.
fielder, Albert Pujols.
Fans are getting an eyeful of the St. Louis Cardinals. They're in their 5th time through the batting order. Pujols continues to hit it all over the lot.
Now hold on right here. He's 2 out of 4 with a pair of doubles. He now has a 4-game hitting streak. Way high, ball 1. 83 miles an hour on that offering. Pujols, an RBI. He has scored a run. Now it's 2-0. Much of this ball game, the Royals have been driving uphill.
The Royals have had to work all night long just to try to offset that 5-run second inning in St. Louis. They still don't have that done.
Well, that's right. Cardinals also have 4 1-run innings. 2-0 to Pujols, and if this one's to his liking, look out. Ball 3. He's in danger of loading the bases now.
Red Royals trying to get either the changeup over or the curveball over when it's been a fastball situation. Hadn't been able to do it. Just with the straight change to Drew. Now he misses with the curveball to Pujols.
Strike over the outer edge. 3-1.
Now what does he come back with? He just got the fastball over the outside corner. Needs to make another pitch to Pujols. Something he can get in the strike zone. Does he show him another fastball? Try to go another way.
Wells working his 2nd inning. He's given up 2 runs, and a blinder to left center field will plug the gap. Against the wall out there. 2 more runs scored. Drew all the way around to check in with a run. Pujols has his 3rd double. 11-4 St. Louis, and here comes Pena. Oh, there's a knockout blow right there. So a pitching change will be made. The left-hander Schaus will come on. Cardinals with a 3-run inning here in the 8th, lead 11-4.
Royals get an inning and 2/3 out of Brad Boyles. He is the Royals' 2nd pitcher of the night. Boyles unable to get out of the 8th inning. A couple walks and hit batter. Brian Schaus is the Royals' 3rd pitcher of the night. No record 5.93 earned run average. He appears for the 21st time. Schaus, a finesse lefty, sidearm delivery. Here's the rest of his line.
For St. Louis, the first baseman, Tino Martinez.
Runner at 2nd. 2 out for Tino Martinez, who's had a big night. 3 hits, including a homer. Cardinals now have 14 hits, and that young man, Albert Pujols, has 3 doubles. He has driven in 3 runs and has scored 1 so far. Think he's having fun playing back here on the block in Kansas City.
Going to come out here tonight with kind of the same numbers he had when he was in high school and junior college.
Ball 1 to Martinez.
3-hit ball game, 3 RBIs.
Boy, sometimes there's just no real explanation for the rapid development of some players. Pujols surprised all of baseball last year in his rookie season, just his 2nd professional season. Keep in mind, he was a 13th round draft pick. A lot of teams passed on him a lot of times.
Sometimes you get lucky. Cardinals got to be very lucky that they got him in their lineup.
Boy, his The 2-1 now to Martinez. Way inside.
I think that's just a deal where a guy just thrives on professional baseball. That's what he does. That's what his focus is. It's what he wanted to do all along. Get him in the right situation, right coaches and the people around him. For him, the sky appears to be the limit.
Now, strike. It's 3-2 to Tino Martinez. Royals are now trailing by 7 runs. This is their biggest deficit of this ball game. It's here in the 8th inning. It's headed up the middle. Alicea fields, but he'll have no chance to throw out the runner. The Cardinals extend the inning. Pujols goes over to third. And what a night for Tino Martinez, a 4-hit game.
The shortstop, Edgar Renteria.
And a game he's been needing. He got off to a very slow start for the Cardinals, but starting to put things together right now.
Well, as the 4-game hitting streak, really had a pretty respectable month of May, even though it's not reflected in his batting average. But 6 home runs, 20 RBIs for that month. So that's a 120 RBI season pace. Not hurting himself at all here tonight in Kansas City.
And a little looper. Nafy bare hands. Safe. At first, another run scores. Why didn't we see that play yesterday in Chicago? A very similar play. A little looper that Nafy had to bare hand and couldn't get the runner. It was Durham yesterday.
The center fielder,
All chopped off of home plate. That's what gives it so much hang time. Nafy's only chance is the bare hand grab and hope you can get something on the throw. Did it all, but couldn't get it done in time.
Renteria has a 3-hit game. Cardinals have 16 hits. They have batted around here in the 8th. The Cardinals with 4 runs here in this 8th inning. Guerrero the batter. It's ball and a strike. The Cardinals do have 1 extra base hit this inning. They had that 5-run inning with singles, errors, walks, but mostly singles in this inning as well. Their only home run was a solo homer by Tino Martinez, and yet they have 12 runs and 16 hits. And a little foul ball off the end of the bat. Gauss trying to get this final out. He's gotten a couple of ground balls, and that's what makes it even more frustrating when you can't turn those into outs. Peña's had a long night, hasn't he? That's rolled to the right side. Should be able to retire him right here. Finally, it comes to an end, but for the 2nd time tonight, the Cardinals bat around in an inning. It is 12-4 St. Louis. We head to the bottom of the 8th.
Check out the numbers the Cardinals are putting on the board tonight. 12 runs on 16 hits. 4 runs on 7 hits. Check out the work of Brandon Berger tonight. Brandon Berger, our Nextel direct connect base hit, trying to get the Royals back into the ballgame. A 3-run home run back in the 2nd inning. The time the Royals trailed at 6-2. Brandon Berger, a big night offensively for the Royals. Defensive changes for the St. Louis Cardinals. Gary Robinson came out as a pinch runner the last half inning. He'll go out and play right field. DeFelice will come out and do the catching for St. Louis. A new pitcher into the ballgame. This is Mike Timlin, sinker balling right-hander, appearing for the 25th time this year. Has a 1-2 record. A run average right at 2.5 per ballgame. Performance batting average against very impressive, just 212. Always been a sinker slider ball pitcher. Good arm, and really, statistics never really matched up for the kind of stuff he brought to the ballpark.
Well, the one bright spot for the Royals has been this young man, Brandon Berger, with 2 home runs. Hit a couple of home runs in a half a dozen ball games at the end of the season for the Royals last year after he came up from Double-A ball. where he hit 40 home runs. He now has 5 major league homers. One strike the count. Now 1-1. Well, he joined us late. Mark Quinn was injured, a hamstring injury in the very first inning. That's how Berger got in the game. Berger's going to have a chance, you would think, with Knobloch on the DL to really get a good look. There's a bouncer. Backhanded by Polanco, and he guns him down. That's pretty good play in a 12-4 game, isn't it?
He's had a couple good plays tonight. Remember the diving stop he made on A.J. Hinch back in the second inning? He was able to make to the backhand side, stay on his feet, while straddling the foul line. Throws across the infield to get Berger. Tough hop to get to. Couldn't quite get to the short hop. Caught it in between. The Royals left fielder.
1 out in the 8th. Here's Ibanez. Strike at the knees. 2 starting pitchers. Paul Byrd went 6. Darrell Kyle 5 1/3. They are still the pitchers of record. Ibanez sends one to left field. Long run. Pujols can't get it. It is a base hit for Ibanez. Into second he goes, and he's got his second double down into that same area. So back-to-back 2 base hits for Ibanez going to left field.
If he was playing golf, he'd have a couple ball marks to repair out there when this game's over. This one hit a little bit farther than the first one, but same general idea. Pitch sinking down and away from him. He's just covering the outside corner. A little flare to left. He's got a 2-for-4 night working.
And maybe that'll help get him going. He's another guy who would figure to play quite a bit with those other injuries. Here's a blast by A.J. Hinch to left field, and he got it in the bullpen out there. 2-run home run for Hinch. It's his 5th homer of the season. Well, that makes it a 12-6 ball game. And at 4, the Cardinals scored in the top of this inning. This a really huge lead late in the game, but Royals do get their 3rd home run.
You would figure this could be a pretty good matchup for A.J. Hinch. He's got a zone there down and inner part of the plate. He's got some pull power, usually left center field, but he drops that one into the Cardinal bullpen.
Now the top of the order will be up there with 1 out, nobody on. Napi Perez 2 for 4. And a foul ball strike. Napi's last time up facing the reliever Beers swung at the first pitch and flied out to center. Royals now have 9 hits, 3 of which have gone out of the park. But at no time in this game have they been closer than 3 runs. Now they're down by 6 with 1 out in the 8th. Maybe not a good cut right there, 1 and 2. And he strikes out.
If he never got a good pitch to handle in that plate appearance.
The second baseman, Luis.
Tried to pick the first one off his shoe tops. The second strike was a pitch outside, and that the high riding fastball looked to be out of the strike zone as well. Maybe the second out of the inning.
Imlin, after giving up the bloop double, the little fly ball double, then the long home run, really meant business in that matchup. Now it's Alicea. And a high chopper near the bag. And no play as Renteria, who had made only 3 errors coming into tonight, couldn't find the handle on that one.
Well, he has been so good here tonight, you just figured, well, that's going to be another easy play for Renteria. Had him played perfectly near the bag at second base. He spent a lot of time there this evening. Actually made the play, had trouble with the exchange, getting it from the glove to the throwing hand. And dribbling it right here. Thought he was going to go ahead and drop kick it while he was there.
Well, they scored that a hit.
Generous scorekeeping.
So Alicea is perched on first. So Renteria still has 3 errors for the year. Now here's Beltran. Apparently they felt that Alicea might beat the play anyway, but boy, Renteria throws the ball. Well, the Royals still have plenty to do. They're down by 6. Beltran up there, and Carlos has just an infield hit tonight, 1 out of 4. 1-1. Cardinals 16 hits. Now the Royals with that play have 10. Old foul. Ball and 2 strikes to Beltran. The Beltran-Sweeney-Randa trio has been producing of late for the Royals, but that threesome has just 2 hits tonight. In fact, they've walked Sweeney a couple of times. And there's a strikeout, and that'll do it for the Royals in the 8th inning. Strikeouts for Perez and Beltran, and that'll do it. On to the night. Royals get 2 more runs, but they're still down by half a dozen after the 2-run blast by A.J. Hinch. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. The 9th inning is here. Royals are down by 6. Well, if I told you tonight at about 6:30 you got Paul Bird going tonight, and the Royals would get 6 runs on 3 homers.
We'd be looking for a place to put our bet down.
Or at least be feeling good about it. Gary Robinson, the batter. And he bounces one to Alicea at second base. And there's the first out of the Cardinals' 9th. New pitcher for the Royals is Jeff Austin, his 2nd appearance since coming back from the minor leagues.
And had pretty good numbers at AAA Omaha this year, working exclusively in relief. Was signed as a starter, made that transition last year. But a lot more effective as a relief pitcher.
Now here's Perez, and a strike over the outer edge. Perez has a bunt single, hit by a pitch. He's also walked. And he's down here 0-2. Cardinals had a couple of big innings tonight. The 5-run 2nd and the 4-run 8th. In each of those frames, they sent 9 men to the plate. 9 runs in those 2 innings. And there's a strikeout as Austin just blows it right by Perez.
Austin, no nonsense right here. Just 3 pitches, get after him and finish him off with a high riding fastball. 2nd out in the inning.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. For St. Louis, number 41, Miguel Cairo.
Now Miguel Cairo will come out as a pinch hitter for Vina. Cairo probably, you would think, stay in and play 2nd. Miguel Cairo, we saw him as a member of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays not too long ago.
Every one of the position players has appeared in this ball game tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals, with the exception of Jim Edmonds, who has the bed rest.
Well, he is a heck of a player and having a great year, but the Cardinals really haven't missed him tonight. They just grabbed this game by the throat early with some help. The Royals had less than spectacular defense early in the game, and that was also an early factor. It's a 3-ball, 1-strike count on Miguel Cairo. Jeff Austin pitching the 9th for Kansas City. And it's now a full count. Royals will need at least 6 in the bottom of the 9th. Some positive things, though, even in a game like this. The power display of Berger. Inch with a home run. There's a roller to the left side. It's going to be a tough play for Nafee. And no chance. Tucker gets away, but Cairo will hang on right there. So that'll be yet another hit for the Cardinals. 17 hits for St. Louis. After this weekend series with St. Louis, the Florida Marlins come to Kauffman Stadium for the first time ever. They'll be here Monday, and it'll be a 3-game interleague series that'll wrap up next Wednesday with a special 1:05 afternoon game. Hope you can take a half day off from work and join us Wednesday afternoon here at the ballpark. Florida Marlins. Here is Polanco. Been a game where we've seen a lot of hits, but many of them have been just like the one we just saw.
In-betweeners.
Well-placed ground balls, little bloops that have fallen in. And we have seen some home runs, but the majority of the hits have been of that variety. Plus some walks and some errors.
See, one thing the Cardinals have done tonight is they've run the bases very aggressively.
Yeah.
They are sending runners all the time, putting the ball in play. Those infielders to move around a little bit. They continue to do that the rest of the weekend. It's going to be tough.
Oh, 2 now to Lucido Polanco. And roll to Nafee. Out at second. That'll do it. Well, the Cardinals are done in the 9th. The Royals need half a dozen to keep the thing going. It'll be Sweeney, Rand, and Tucker. We'll see what happens. The Royals come to bat in the 9th.
Cardinals are commanding 12-6 lead as we move on to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Royals will have Mike Sweeney, Joe Randa, Michael Tucker, the first 3 scheduled to get something going here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Our hearty star of the game tonight, Brandon Berger, not originally in the starting lineup this evening, but 2 for 4 night, couple home runs, 4 RBIs in the game. Berger got it going early with the 3-run shot in the second. His second home run came in the 6th inning. He was robbed by the third baseman Polanco his last time up, or it'll be a 3-hit ball game for Berger. This is Luther Hackman. Into the ball game for the 19th time this year, a 1-2 record. Another sparkling earned run average for a Cardinal reliever, 2.17. Hitting just 229 against Hackman. Primarily a fastball pitcher. Very good arm. Throughout his career, he's been inconsistent with his command and his breaking ball. In a period of time with the Cardinals late June last year, worked in middle relief. Only 1 of 20 inherited runners scored on him last year. Beginning of the year, he started on the disabled list with an elbow problem. Luther Hackman.
Remember last Friday night at Arlington, Texas, the 7th inning? Royals were trailing 5-1. They scored 6 runs. That's just what they need right here. They need 6 runs to keep the game going.
The Friday night special, huh?
Yeah. Here's Sweeney to lead off. Strike called over the outside corner. Sweeney 0 for 2. Luther Hackman is the 4th Cardinal pitcher. The Royals have also used 4 hurlers: Bird, Boyle, Schaus, and Austin. 1 strike pitch to Sweeney. And Michael has a base hit. Well, Sweeney makes it a 1 for 3 ball game. He singles leading off the 9th.
Michael has now hit in 15 of his last 17 ball games. And hitting .341. He's been on base 3 times tonight.
Here's Randa. Joe hit his last time up. He struck out twice. He's reached on an error. He did score a run on the Berger's 3-run homer. Way high. 95 miles an hour on that pitch. out of the zone. Royals now have 11 hits, good for 6 runs, yet they're trailing by 6. And Randa, a little fly ball to right center, and it is caught out there by the center fielder. Marrero had to go a long, long way, didn't he? But he caught it. Now 1 out.
Right
But
fielder,
Joe might
Michael
get that one in there.
Tucker.
Marrero pretty good out there in center field. He's covered a lot of ground.
Well, you think of the versatility that he has. If you can play him in center field, you can certainly play him in left and right. We already know he's a pretty solid catcher. I thought that ball was going to drop in right center field like a lot of us did. Had to return to first.
Now the Royals down to their last 2 outs, still needing 6 runs. Here's Tucker, no luck in 3 tries. Ball 1, he had to jump rope. Game 2 of the series tomorrow night at 6 will be over on the Royals television network. Jeremy Hoffeld against 7-4 Matt Morris, who's one of the best pitchers in the National League. Inside 2-0. Tucker, although hitless, didn't line out hard to right field. Be on channel 29 here in Kansas City tomorrow, KCWE. Now 3-0. Third baseman Polanco over to have a word with Hackman. They need a lot of base runners. Blocks on the DL. Quinn injured tonight. And there's a 4-pitch walk.
The Roos is going to love that.
Oh boy. And Dave Duncan, his longtime pitching coach. And that expression kind of gives you some insight. And he's going to maybe warm somebody up. They didn't want to do that leading by 6 in the 9th. Get another pitcher ready.
Call you after the bullpen, but guys anticipating the
That's Duncan.
possible call.
Strike 1 to Berger, who was taking all the way after the 4-pitch walk. Berger, 2 home runs tonight, a 3-run shot in the 2nd, a solo homer in the 6th. And he sends one to center field. Marrero going to the track. And right in front of the 400 sign, makes the catch. 2 outs now in the 9th.
What about the fans of the ballpark jumping to their feet when that ball was touched off by Berger? And a nice ovation for Brandon.
And he'll be in the lineup tomorrow night.
Gives the manager something to think about, doesn't it?
Well, they may not have any choice with the shortage of outfielders, but this kid's had quite a ball game. Watch the swing.
Picked on a breaking ball right there. Not a bad location. Outer half the plate. Up in the zone maybe a little bit. Berger gave it a ride. Just to the right of the 400-foot sign in center field.
Now we have Ibanez up there, and strike 1 to him. Raul has a couple of doubles that went to the opposite field. Now that direction, only that one's in foul territory, out of play. Brandon Berger. A big night offensively and a near miss on that last at bat. But even though he's had a good night, the team has not. Sure, that never feels as good when you're playing, even though you did some good things. The team result is the important object, and Royals have come up short in that category. Happened early on tonight. 1-2 to Ibanez. Now 2-2. Blackman trying to get this third out for St. Louis. And that should be it. Ball game is over. And the Cardinals take game one by a count of 12-6. They got it going well early with 5 runs in the second. They had 4 in the 8th and 3 other runs. The Royals got 3 homers in the game, but not nearly enough to offset this showing for the Cardinals in game one of the series. So we'll see you back here tomorrow night. We'll be over on the Royals Television Network at 6 o'clock, channel 29 in Kansas City. 12-6, the final score here this evening. For Paul Splittorff, this is Bob Davis. Coming up at 11 o'clock tonight on Fox Sports Net, the best sports show, period. So we'll see you tomorrow at 6, Royals Television Network, 12-6 Cardinals. Good night from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City.